It's all uncharted territory playing in the Stade de France in an atmosphere like this. It feels like it is fight or flight time for England. What do they have in them with their backs firmly against the wall? France, though, their task is straightforward. As long as winning test matches is straightforward, they know that any kind of win doesn't have to be with a bonus point, any win, and they are champions for the second year in a row. There is a danger of a kick clash here, isn't there, guys? France are in very light blue with white shorts. The red socks are useful because otherwise, yeah, I mean, from up here, we can tell the teams apart, but we'll see when they engage whether there are any problems on that front.
An occasional miss will be forgiven, Jonesy, don't worry about that.
Okay, that's good to know. Here we go then. Alain Le Bleu rings around this brilliant rugby stadium. The referee is the Georgian, Nika Amashikeli, one of the top officials in the world. He's helped out by Andrew Brace, the record maker, history setter Holly Davidson, and TMO, the Aussie Brett Cronin. And Nika Amashikeli says to Finn Smith, let's go to work. The final act in this epic 2026 Men's Six Nations. We're underway in Paris, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. World Cup winners Matt Dawson and Paul Grayson with us, and Antoine Dupont prepares to clear his lines from the kick. He goes high towards the touchline. Louis Bielbiarré is up there. England this time get the scraps. That's a good start. England haven't had the best of the kicking game this Six Nations, but that was good. And now Finn Smith, they're running the ball a little bit. Elliot Daly goes to kick, then he dummies. So already slightly different intent from England. They may have put their boot on the ball earlier in the tournament. Ben Earl now, what a warrior he's been in adversity for England. Halfway line, Spencer to the left. Nice ball at the back from Pepper. Finn Smith on the gain line. That's a good kick from Daly as he turns France around. They're herring after it, England. They might be onto it. It's been knocked forward. And then over they go. Atkinson. Try won't be given because it was knocked on by England. But already Paul Grayson, Matt Dawson. Much, much better for England.
Yeah, a sharp start. Good kick-off, good chase, low tackle by Roebuck. Won the scraps, as you say, Chris. Had one little go to the left. Daly held on to the ball, didn't kick it, went into contact, then played down the short side again, engaged the French backfield and slid the ball in behind. Good start.
But it works because it was the right option. And the right option, as you say, normally Elliot Daly kicks that ball all day. First time round, has a little bit of a dart. Threatens all of a sudden France think, oh, they're not going to kick it. The second attempt, Elliot Daly pops it through. And, you know, England doing it on the front foot, getting in behind. Just great decision making.
Well, the kick clash in the scrum is pretty glaring, isn't it? As the packs engage. And from sort of an aerial point of view, you just saw two lots of 16 men in very similar shades.
Dare I say, let me be the coach now. Enough, let's get on with it. Let's stop whinging about it, Jonesy.
You're far away and into space.
That's the win. That's the winning attitude. Yeah, no point complaining. Let's get on with it. And what an occasion it is. What a tournament it's been earlier on. Wales, the first Six Nations win in 3 years, and a brilliant Ireland performance. Ireland 43, Scotland 21. 6 tries, a 12th win in a row against the Scots for Ireland. Arsenal are 10 points clear at the top of the Premier League. They beat Everton 2-0. West Ham beat Man City's on the way. We're across loads of sport tonight with golf and tennis as well, as France attack from their own 5-metre line, really, just to set the ball up to give Dupont a chance to kick. He finds the enormous Emmanuel Mafbu, who's back in the team after being on the bench in Edinburgh. That disappointing loss for France, which scuppered dreams of a Grand Slam. But still, a title is on the line for the French, and their skipper Antoine Dupont, who kicks long, taken in by Caden Murley. Murley throws a dummy and makes 5 or 6 metres the Harlequin. There for Ben Spencer. England just into the opposition half now through Ellis Genge, who goes over the 10-metre line. Already, this is much better from England. Some positive carrying there from Genge, and it doesn't look like they're first thing to this the kick. They're looking to choose their moments as Finn Smith finds Seb Atkinson, the Gloucester man, who's helped out by 3 or 4 England players. It's a maul though, so this will probably end up as a France scrum. Actually, it's been ripped by France, and they might have numbers down the left. Ramos will kick for Bielbiarré. Well, that's rare, and unlike Ramos, he puts it out on the full as Bielbiarré, who's hunting history. He scored a try in every game of the Six Nations last year and 4 out of 4 this year, meaning he's looking to go back-to-back and score in every game for 2 successive Six Nations. But Ramos out on the full, England line out round the halfway line.
Yeah, Seb Atkinson just stripped to the ball. Francois Kroos, I think it was, nicked it off him.
England attack, Atkinson out the back, Finn Smith, Elliot Daly, he kicks again, but France were more expecting this one. It dribbles out, but it's a good territorial gain, and France will throw into the line out. What's that, Matt Dawson? 20 odd metres from their own line.
Jonesy, I'll just jump in there. That's exactly what I was talking about before the game. You're under no obligation to overplay. Do that again. Do that again. Test them on the outside. When they change their shape, then you keep it in the hands. But you're forcing France. There's 3 times now England have forced them to exit with good attacking intent.
Watch the hand. Lance, watch the hand.
It's going to be a line out France then. We're going to go to West Ham and Paul Gilmore in a sec. But let's just see if France can get their exit right. They win the line out, so let's go to Paul. Hi, Paul.
Hi there, West Ham 0, Manchester City 0. We've played 16 minutes, plenty of City possession. They look in the mood, but yet to test Hermansen. It remains scoreless.
Thank you very much. Yeah, back with Paul. We'll also have updates from Kenny Crawford at Kilmarnock against Hearts, Russell Fuller and Ian Carter, our tennis and golf correspondents, are across the big goings on at the Players and at Indian Wells. Loads happening tonight on 5 Live, as it always does on Saturday, your home of news and sport, as Antoine Dupont kicks. And Matt Dawson, all of the game, apart from that little breakout from France where Ramos kicked out on the full, has been played in France territory. I suppose the familiar problem for England has been turning territory and pressure into points.
Very true, very true. But that is what we've asked of England. That is what the fans would have asked from England, probably what they've spoken about in the week. Players, coaches. There is no point in playing risky rugby in your own half, away from home. Fans baying for blood. England are absolutely on the money at the moment.
Nearly 6 minutes gone. France 0, England 0. Penalty, though, to the French, which will give them a chance to get out of their territory, where they've been rather camped for the opening few minutes of this game. And Mathieu Jalabert, Paul Grayson playing in your opposition, number 10. He's really coming into his own in this shirt, and he will drive France into English territory.
Yeah, it's a shame that England gave that penalty away, because it actually put enough pressure on Dupont for him to put in a very ordinary box kick. It's a long time since we saw one of those from him. France's tactics very much to keep the ball on the field. We've seen Dupont very often from his own 22 drill it out on the halfway line. They want to keep the ball in play and force England to get away from the set piece.
Julian Marchand to throw. He does well to find Flamand, then Dupont to Jalabert, centre field now, driven on by the French forwards. England holding firm on the 10-metre line, bang in centre field as France come to the left. Jalabert out the back, Ramos, both fullbacks put a boot on ball, that's nice. Oh, Bielbiarri's onto it, and he's scored, and he's made history again! Louis Bielbiarri, the kick from Ramos, and the wizard winger under the post. And that is what France do. You give them a scrap, you give them a sniff, they will score, and Bielbiarri will score. And for the second Six Nations in a row, he has scored in every single game. Sensational.
Brilliant finish from no. I mean, talk about a scrap. It wasn't even a scrap. There was nothing on. Nothing on for France. Easy gather in the backfield for England. But, I mean, Daly got taken apart with his defensive position. No, that's England are going to be really disappointed with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a fantastic finish, showing his pace to gather the bouncing ball as Ramos kicks the 2. But it's all well and good going forward, Grace. Get yourself in a position, but you've got to be able to defend the base.
Yeah, gave the penalty away on the far side of the field. France trucked it up the middle and then came out to the left-hand side. An extra phase, ball in behind, exactly what England were doing, pushed the ball in behind. Then it was Caden Murley covering across as the ball popped up. He neither tackled Bielbiarri or went for the ball. And the French, he's an absolute wizard on the left wing, isn't he, Bielbiarri?
Well, almost England's problems in this Six Nations in a microcosm there. Good start, some decent enough play, have a bit of territory, have a bit of possession, don't quite take their opportunity, and then bang, the opposition hit them for 7. After Ramos whacked over the kick. France 7, England 0.
But England have got to keep playing, Chris. You know, it has been positive. Keep going through.
Finn Smith almost went through just as he said that. And the ball is quick for Spencer. He goes wide. Ollie Chesham's in the wide channel. That's a good bust from the England number 6. Finn Smith, a running threat from 10. As a Toje. Oh, what a collision coming in. Maritoje was chopped by Mafu. the two second rows going at it there as England put a little kick through. They almost get onto this. Do they get onto it? Oh, they've got a penalty, or is it a knock-on? Let's see what the referee decides as Spencer throws a dummy. He's looking to attract defenders. That's good from Spencer. That's good from Ellis Gedge. England are 7 metres out now. They trail by 7. They simply have to respond. They can't let this French avalanche start to move as they get on the outside, almost through Daly. Wide he goes. Tom Roebuck scores! Brilliant response, England.
Yeah, they had to keep playing. Love that mindset from England, bouncing straight back. Let's keep doing what we've been doing. It's working. And they were patient, they were precise, accurate. They deserve that, definitely.
Quick ball, Finn Smith goes to the line, show and go, almost got his arms free and an offload away, but then England immediately play quick. Ben Spencer, there's 1% of me thinks he thought about kicking the ball into the corner. Then they gave it to Chesham in the wide channel, playing at 6. Carries the ball strongly, gets onto the front foot, and then they're into it. Itoje got hammered in the tackle, but the ball was quick. A little dink into the air, a little bit of chaos, and then they managed to spin it the full width of the field. Roebuck goes in the right-hand corner.
Let's see if Finn Smith can add the 2 from the wrong touchline, if you like, for the right-footed kick. I'm going to go to Kenny at Kilmarnock. Big goal potentially in the race for the Scottish title. Finn Smith misses to the right. Come in, Kenny.
Yeah, this is a big problem for league leaders' Hearts, because it's Kilmarnock 1, Heart of Midlothian 0, and Michael Schoening Larsen, the Denmark-born Estonia international, popped up at the back post from Greg Kiltie's low cross to give the hosts the lead. Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. It's about not being predictable, isn't it? You know, it's about if England are going to run past keeping the opposition guessing, which hasn't happened enough this tournament.
And that's you paint a picture. They set up for one thing, you go somewhere else. It's done well. It looks incredibly easy, and England did everything perfectly there to score in the right-hand corner.
Well, what a 10 minutes we've had. 2 tries, Bielbiarri for France, and then Roebuck for England as they knock it on. Genge loses it, and look how France come alive. The moment they get a turnover, you see all of them. As Jalibert puts a little kick through, that didn't come to much, but it will be a French scrum, and that's what France want. They want a turnover, the ball in transition, then they will hit you hard. France, though, will, Matt Dawson, get a scrum. Oh, dangerous position inside the England 22.
Definitely feels like it's going to be we score 4, you score 5. To which team, I don't know. It could be you score 7, we score 8, but it seems to be whoever's got the ball at the moment is looking threatening.
But that mistake straight from the kick-off first carry, stone cold drop, giving possession straight back to France in a threatening position. Dupont kicked the ball away, actually. Referees sometimes say that's you've booted away your advantage. We'd rather you played with it. But I would say they're a shade fortunate to go back to the scrum. But 7-metre blindside on the right-hand side, which needs to be defended by England. Atisogbe just worked his way behind the scrum. France dangerous here.
Yeah, the front rows, Gross, Marchand, Aldegheri up against Genge, George and Hayes, Flamont, Miafu, the second rows, Itoje, Coles for England, Cross, Mathieu and Olive on the back row for France as Dupont finds Murfon out the back. Jalibert kicks for Bielbiarri again, it's going to sit up, another try. Who else? Louis Bielbiarri. France have had 2 chances, scored 2 tries.
It's too easy. Defence again. Oh my goodness me, what? Listen, if England bounce back and they score tries, it's going to be like this for 80 minutes, you're in for a ride. But, goodness gracious me, you at international level, Paul Grayson, you cannot defend like that off set piece.
No, they got narrow in the midfield. Mifana took the ball close to the line, then they flipped it out the back to Jalibert. They tried to shut the gate. Roebuck wedged in, so Daly's got to go. He got ahead of the line, which opened the space for Jalibert to thread it through. When you're so close to your own line, there's no chance of the backfield recovering. Almost caught between 2 stools there. Jalibert picked the perfect shot.
Grace.
I know.
That's set piece. The research you do on how to defend against your opposition and the little starter moves.
Ramos kicks the 2, France 14, England 5.
Just the little starter moves that you know the opposition do. Surely you just practice that time after time and you make sure that's shut down, and if they get to 3-4 phases and you stretch them, fine, but wow.
Wow, we've had fireworks, flames, horses, amazing anthems, and 3 tries in 13 minutes. France 14, England 5. A stupendous end to a stupendous championship. At the moment, France are romping towards the Six Nations title. Can England respond to that Biel Biarri try? Biel Biarri has now caught up his tries with his caps. He's on 27 in 27. That's called a strike rate.
Well, any doubts that when he bursts onto the scene, you think he's a flash in the pan, and the occasional bit is by accident? Absolutely not. He's a sensation.
Chesham, good line-up ball. That's class from Ben Earl against the grain, making 10 metres, lightning fast ball. Good stuff, England. Ellis Genge into the 22. Can they execute now, Steve Borthwick's men? Guy Pepper wearing 7. To the right they come. Seb Atkinson puts his head down. He had Chesham and Roebuck on the right, but he didn't use them. Spencer finds Genge again. They need plenty of carrying from these England forwards, not leaving it all to Ben Earl, who's been a one-man band at times this championship. Centre field for England, 20 out. Spencer, Finn Smith out the back. Tommy Freeman almost gets away. Good strength from the winger, turns centre. England through captain Itoje, helped out by Pepper. Jamie George in there, the Centurion. Seb Atkinson, again, he shows his strength to within about 15. Ellis Genge, that's a good bust from the prop. Up to the 5, good stuff this from England, looking for their second try. Spencer to Itoje. Itoje within 5 now. To the right they come, England. Ben Earl, he's underneath the crossbar. Spencer comes to Finn Smith, and it's been lost, has it? Back we come. Oh, it's a crossing, actually. England got in each other's way, and it will be a France penalty, and the French flags fly as we go back to West Ham and Paul Gilmore.
27 minutes played, still West Ham 0, Manchester City 0. West Ham have responded well to some early City pressure. Not a lot of goalmouth action though. Marmoush pulled a 25-yard free kick wide, but West Ham in their shape and working incredibly hard. West Ham 0, Man City 0.
Yeah, shame. Great bust from Ellis Genge. Just that little bit of momentum that you thought 2 or 3 yards on, meters on the break, and then let's see that England strike play. Couldn't quite get it together, didn't quite have enough England resource, a little bit laboured. Shame.
I like the fact that the set play around the back of the line out, when it works as a sharp line from Earl to get him on the front foot, and then Genge's carry, a diagonal run across the face of a couple of defenders and stepping into the hole. Itoje working his feet, everything's done at pace. Even the collision that resulted in the penalty, they were throwing bodies at the line.
Oh, good line-out contest, but it's won by Flamand for France, who lead by 14 points to 5. 5 live, BBC Sounds, the BBC Sport website, live in the Stade de France, as Dupont kicks a high box tester for Roebuck. Roebuck for Biel Biarri. Roebuck got it, then lost it. I felt he had it, but then it ended up in French possession. And they now have it as Biel Biarri plays the dummy half rugby league style. Dupont kind of caught in 2 minds, and England's defence has done a job at moving the French back to the halfway line. They're very bunched to the left here, France, in their light blue strips, to commemorate 120 years of rivalry between these 2 great rugby nations. And then consistent refereeing from Nick Amishkeni. This time he does France for the obstruction crossing, exactly the same as England a moment ago. Penalty England.
It's one of those moments where did the defender engage with the runner ahead? Instinctively, I'm like, the French player did nothing wrong and he was hit by an England player, but in the end it doesn't matter. Anybody who runs it in a light blue shirt, give him a whack.
Yeah, give him a whack and scream out, yeah, I've been taken out. Good, that's being a bit streetwise. But again, you see the way that the French attacking those short sides. They fancy their chances, just waiting for England to bite in.
England line out, 25 out, George to Itoje. How often have we seen that for club country and for the Lions? Atkinson, Freeman over the gain line, good quick ball. Already plenty to be encouraged about this England performance, but they are 14-5 down as Spencer comes to the left and finds Ben Earl. He likes to step off his left, doesn't he? England are only 12 metres out or so. Finn Smith to the left, Elliot Daly caught in traffic, but does pretty well, the veteran fullback. Jamie George, good footwork from the Saracens hooker. England now to the left. Oh, Spencer kicks through. That could set up for Finn Smith. Oh, England are going to score, are they? They're onto it through Murley. Try for England.
Yeah, I think Murley's just got a fingernail on it. Ball bouncing, bobbling around in the dead ball area from a cheeky little left-footed kick from Spencer, causing mayhem France on the scramble. Was there a... No, it went backwards from France, and Murley stretching, bounce to the ball in the last 3 games has certainly not gone England's way. Just left hand, little pinky try.
Well, you don't see much emotion from Steve Borthwick, who's sitting right in front of us, but he banged the desk there in joy. France 14, England 10. 4 tries in the opening quarter, 3 of them through kicks, little kicks through as both attacks keep defences guessing. Finn Smith, can he kick this conversion? Every point precious in a place like this. Jeers around the stade. Smith said he was waiting for these when we spoke to him on Thursday, but he's pushed it across the face. France 14, England 10, Paul Grayson.
Yeah, the decision-making behind when to kick and how to kick is exponentially easier when you're on the front foot and you've got guys turning up to carry hard and guys turning up to clear out and do all the grunt work that forces defenders into making hurried decisions. Dupont was going into the middle of the defensive line, the opposite side of the ruck, running away from where England ended up scoring. Atisogbe under pressure from Finn Smith dropped the ball. England worthy of the score because of the hard work before the kick at the end.
Long restart from the French. Earl took it, he slipped, so he's then tackled about 10 metres from his own line, but Spencer's a very adept kicker, isn't he, from scrum half. Decent kick, but it does give France a handy attacking situation. 25 out, line out far side, back to Paul at West Ham.
Where Manchester City have taken the lead with the first shot on target of this first half. The ball was worked out to the left-hand side for Marmoush. He brought Bernardo Silva into play. Just double-checking whether this one was a cross or a chip. Either way, over Hermansen into the far corner of the net. Beautiful from Bernardo Silva. It's West Ham 0, Man City 1.
Thanks a lot, Paul. France attack, centre field. To the right they go. Dupont was in at standoff there, and they're working it nicely down the right. That's good. Atisogbe. He just bounced off Murley, who scored a moment or 2 ago. Flamont wrestled to the floor by Itoje. Just short of the 22 are the French, who lead by 4 after 20 captivating minutes in the Stade de France. Centre field for Dupont. It's good quick ball. It's Jalabert, tackled by Atkinson. The crowd felt maybe a little bit clumsy from Atkinson, but referee was happy. Nice offload, Mahfou there, and it's flipped on from the French. Olivon, that's a good bust over the 22. Their offloading game outstanding as it's been all tournament, France. They've massively topped those charts when it comes to offloads, especially through the forwards. England are offside. France are lurking dangerously with intent on the far side through Atisogbe. Dupont, nice ball again as the forwards combine, and Olivon crashes over. Julian Marchand, this brilliant hooker, he offloads again to Dupont. They're really keeping it alive. Jalabert kicks. Oh, nasty one for Murley. What's going to happen to the bounce? I think Murley's got it down. Has he, or are France onto it? France think they scored. What's your verdict on that one, Paul Grayson?
Yeah, as Jalabert went chip over the top, the ball bounced. I think it bounced to the right. Jalabert dived in to contest it with Murley. He thinks he's ripped it from the English winger and grounded it. They'll have to have a look at it. But he got up with the ball.
Cruel bounce for Murley. Had it covered for all money. It was a tiny little chip. You think Murley's got it covered, and it sort of bounces left, and then he grabs the ball. I mean, we're going to have to watch this a few times because it looks like they've landed at the same time, both of them in control of the ball. You've got to say Murley has that.
Jalabert emerges with it,
yes,
but whether Murley got some pressure down, that's a big old call for the TMO and the ref here. Big call. Let's listen in.
Okay. So we had no try because both players are in possession of the ball. It's a joint grounding. Okay, so we played advantage for offside, so we're going to go back for that.
Well, there you go. It was a joint grounding. The crowd don't like it, but good authoritative refereeing from Nika Amashikeli and his team. But advantage was being played, so France will have a penalty. I think it's going to be kind of centre field, 22 out.
France, their opening play split the field, and then they had their entire team drop back to the right-hand side, almost got England on the edge. And then after that, they're playing wide passes, really trying to split the field. Obviously identified a little bit as Scotland did, pulled England this way and that and found those soft edges.
it is very obvious where France are trying to play. It's clever. It's going into England's weakness. It's giving them huge momentum, so England need to adapt accordingly.
It's a tackle. No, it's a tackle.
So Maro Itoje talking to referee Amos Shakeli. Thomas Ramos will nudge this over from straight in front. So we were going to go to Kilmarnock. We will go to Kenny at Kilmarnock in a sec. But another goal for you, Paul, at West Ham.
A goal that will be celebrated in the red half of North London because West Ham have equalised. It's Mavropanos inside the 6-yard box from a corner. He is headed past Donnarumma. It just about bounced over the line, and West Ham are level just 3 minutes after Bernardo Silva gave City the lead. It's 1-1.
Ramos kicks the goal. France 17, England 10. Right, so to Kenny at Killy. Kenny.
36 minutes gone, still Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0. That Schoening Larsson goal after 17 minutes has the hosts in front. Since then, Magnussen has fired just wide for Hearts, but the league leaders still losing. Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0.
Thanks, Kenny. I don't think England will mind conceding 3 there. Could have been worse.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Just giving England a little bit of a breather.
Oh, House Maffey got that away. Bielbieri with that left boot. England go back through Daly. So England were quite good at the restart there. Oh, penalty England. That will help as France go off their feet. Mafu somehow got an offload to Bielbieri. This is... I know it's said a lot about this French team, Paul Grayson, but when they get just a sniff, they are away.
Yeah, they are, and they're looking to free their arms. It almost looked like Thibaut Flamand dummy jumped there. Miafu caught it behind him, into contact, got the ball to Bielbieri. As England go for the corner through Daly, just down to the 22, and then Bielbieri kicked it too early, and then they tried to counter-hook, and 3 French players straight off their feet.
I'd like to see England vary their kickoff. They've kicked it to Mafu every single time. Robert's gone and tackled him, and it's like tackling a brick wall. I mean, so let's change the emphasis here. Do something different.
Well, England go to the tail. They threw to the front a lot in Rome, quite conservatively, but more ambitious there, and it gives them a better platform from which to maul or to strike. And they are edging into the 22 now. Ben Spencer conducting traffic at the back. It's a solid enough England maul, even though Dorian Aldegheri is making mischief, and now he's told by the ref to get back onside. Still this England maul crabs forward, and England are going well here. 10, 15 metres, penalty advantage. Spencer, Ben Earl, he knocks on. England will get the penalty. Oh, we haven't seen England maul a side like that for ages.
That was a free shot. I mean, getting a bit excited here, but that's a free shot. Free shot for England off a brilliant driving maul. Probably, 20 metres or so? Took France apart. France concertina in because they're being ripped open with a maul. It's on for just to go a little bit wider, and unfortunately England went through the... Well, actually, I think it might have been Ben Ola came on a crash and got a cut on his head for the trouble.
Yeah, Ben Earl is he's getting some treatment, isn't he? He got a bad gash. Yeah. England will get the penalty. Paul Grayson will nudge it to... I don't think they're going for goal. Looks like they're going to put this into the corner.
Yeah, I think so. And also, I mean, if you think back to about the line-out troubles when they played Scotland, England absolutely all over the place. Now they've got Itoje, Coles, Chesham as options, and occasionally Earl. They can... So much easier when you've got some tall trees in there to vary what your point of attack, and if they can throw to the back, open up the blind side off a maul, so difficult to defend. France forced to give the penalty away. They'll go and do it again, but if you think of the set piece travails that they've had, the line out in particular looks a different beast today.
Good to go, okay.
What a game it's been so far. 25 minutes gone. 5 live and BBC Sounds, live text as well on the BBC Sport website. You can find highlights there of Wales's first win in 3 years. Ireland's fantastic victory over Scotland that sealed the Triple Crown, might yet send the title back to Dublin. Any France win though, and they go back-to-back the French. France 17, England 10. One in the line-out by England, and Alex Coles. Chesham's in there to help out. Jamie George is at the tail. The backs are getting involved now. England are mauling well today, and they're within 5. Can they keep this rolling forward, this white mass? Spencer's at the back, he doesn't want it yet. England are moving more sideways than forwards. Can they straighten this maul up? They could be in if they do. They're only a metre or two out, looking to level this up at 17 all. England still up, going up to the line. There is practically the whole team is in that maul. Can they get hold of it? Nicola Amishakeli, the ref, having a long look. It is there for England, but so many players are caught in the maul. Spencer's got no options. Freeman goes into play at scrum half. England are inches out, trailing by 7, but a converted try brings them level. There goes the skipper, Maro Itoje, to within a metre or so. They pick and drive and score! Ollie Chesham! He throws the ball in the air. He bellows, come on to the fans behind the posts. England mean business today, they're going back level.
Love it. That chest to chest, forehead to forehead confrontation that we've all spoken about and doubted that England have the ability to do that against France, and they're showing it. That's big signs. 2 mauls, dominant, little and organisation. There was patience, and you could see France were blowing at not being able to defend that, where there were only maybe 1 or 2 England players on their feet. Brilliant.
Ben Smith for 17 all, he does the job. France 17, England 17, 27 magnificent minutes gone. Paul Grayson.
He's done well there, Finn Smith. It's a relatively straightforward conversion, but he's missed his previous 2 kicks right. Obviously fixed up a little glitch, that one just inside the left-hand post to draw level, but 20-metre maul. Put them under pressure, force them to make a mistake, do it again. Brilliant stuff.
France go long to Ben Earl, who was sporting a black tape job. You know, normally they're white, aren't they? The tape to patch up blood injuries, but he's wearing a black one. And he sets it up. Spencer kicks. He's looking more for distance than a contest. And Thomas Ramos, the nimble Thomas Ramos, what a footballer the Toulouse man is. He gathered the kick, and now France on the halfway line. Dupont just had a little flirt with the fringe, then he found his half-back partner, Jalibert. Jalibert goes cross-field, contest, Roebuck's up there, he doesn't get it, it's been knocked on, and Tom Roebuck just been edged a couple of times in those aerial battles, and it means France gobble up a load of territory and get the scrum in between the 22 and the 10.
I don't think England will mind this though, this set piece of the... We've only had a couple of scrums so far, and England have looked like they've got an edge, just a little bite to it. Ben Spencer going down for a little bit of treatment, and probably part of the tactics, just slowing the game down, just a touch. Maro Itoje getting his arm around the players, bringing it in tight. I know it's a French put-in, but here's an opportunity, getting one up on the French at the set piece. Yeah, good chance.
Well, as it stands, Ireland are champions, but the chances of this game finishing 17-all are literally 0. And if France score one more time, they'll have their 4. Actually, they've had 2, haven't they? Because they're 1 disallowed. So if they get 4 tries, then a draw will be enough for France. But they know that it's pretty clear if they do win, they are the champions. France 17, England 17. Almost half an hour played. And your verdict, Paul Grayson, on this: attacking scrum for the French, 30-odd metres out, just to the left of the post.
England's set-piece defence has been poor, as Matt has highlighted. Here's a chance to get it right.
Crouch! Bind!
Crouch bind, set the call from Nicola Amishakeli as the packs engage. The scrum crumpled a bit, but it's been played away by France. Switched from Dupont. Oh, lovely footwork. Jalibert, he then forced the offload a bit. England won't mind that at all. It's been knocked on. I mean, if you're being really quibbling, then you could say that England had perhaps had some men over there, but they're in their own 22. They can't be reckless. They're right in this game at 17-all as we tick towards the half-hour mark. And France, if Spencer can get this away successfully, France have spurned a bit of an opportunity there. That's a decent kick from Spencer. That's really good from Spencer. Excellent. Yeah, one you'd enjoy, Matt Dawson.
Superb kick. Probably 6 or 7 metres from the touchline. He's made maybe 60 metres up the touchline there. That is an incredible clearance. Puts the pressure back on to France to say, yeah, go on then, keep doing what you're doing and we'll defend all day.
One of those big Maro Itoje mitts just getting in the way of the Jalibert offload. Blinding footwork from the French 10 to make the half break.
One in the line-out by France at the front, but England have them in their own territory. So if England can keep their discipline, which has been an issue this tournament, they've been really racking up the yellow cards. So far so good in the first 30. They've kept 15 on the pitch. Roebuck was under very little pressure. He has scored a try, Roebuck, and he almost gets away there and then finds the offload to Ben Earl. That's decent from Roebuck and Earl in collaboration. Spencer to Atkinson. He hurls it to Tommy Freeman, who's got Caden Murley with him. He's still going, Freeman, and he gets the offload away. Then it's been knocked on, and Spencer picked up the intercept. I think it's just the knock on. But another example of an England team that in Rome would have probably put boot to ball there, but Freeman had a look and then managed to make 30-40 metres, and if the offload had gone to hand, England may have been behind the French.
And a good second effort. Roebuck, once he started to run, then got the offload away, and then Seb Atkinson
Let's go, guys.
made a pass that he would make every day of the week for Gloucester, but didn't do in Rome last week. Kicked the ball ahead. Freeman gave him the call.
Let's go.
He got one of the best wingers in the world playing 13 today.
Okay.
Makes easy yards, and then just a knock on at the end. But they've advanced themselves 50 yards up the pitch, transferred all the pressure back to France. They can have a little nibble at the scrum if they want, but force France to get out of their own half again.
Just the real detail around that. But Freeman looks up last week. Oh, there's a defender. I better do something else. This week he looks up. He looks the opposition in the eyes, and you can see he was like, "Oh no, that's a hooker. I've definitely got the gas on that fella." Marchand's got no chance. Rather than it was, and they're the little bits of detail that are different about this England side today. They're heads up. They're scanning. They're looking for not just where the space is at that phase, but how can they manipulate the opposition to then create space for a couple of phases onwards.
So as it stands, Ireland are champions, but a win for France changes that. As it stands, Arsenal are 10 points clear at the top of the Premier League, although City will pick up a point if it remains 1-1 at West Ham to cut the gap to 9, but that would be thoroughly satisfactory for Arsenal if City don't respond with a win. West Ham, Man City 1-1 at the moment. Paul Gilmore's been keeping us up to date, and Kilmarnock lead Hearts, championship chasing Hearts, with the latest from Kenny Crawford as things develop there. Big England scrum, and they get the penalty. The referee Nick Ramashikeli had a long old look, didn't they? And now they'll have to decide what to do. This is going to be a really interesting decision for the leadership, for Finn Smith, for Maro Itoje. Is it points or is it pressure? As we go back to Paul at West Ham. Half time, is it, Paul?
It is indeed half-time. West Ham 1, Man City 1. Bernardo Silva chipped Mads Hermansen from the left-hand side of the area after 31 minutes. Just 3 minutes later, Konstantinos Mavropanos, a former Arsenal player, headed home from a corner. Antoine Semenyo had a glorious chance right at the end of the half, but at the break it's West Ham 1, Man City 1.
Thanks, Paul. I think England guys are going for the corner. Yeah, Finn Smith, remember this time last week, Smith and Itoje were in a bit of disagreement over what to do. Smith wanted corner, Itoje wanted points. The skipper's word was final. This time they are going for the corner, and Smith prods England to about 10 metres out.
Just seen a replay of that scrum. We heard the audio when England felt they were on the front foot. The screaming started just to make sure that the referee knew that they were dominant. Joe Hayes on the tight head, going to work. England getting fair reward.
England line out, Jamie George to throw, into the middle it goes. Alex Coles has been good today in the line out. He wins it, they've just got to protect that ball, they do. Jamie George is in there, and they've been hauled down, England. Another penalty's coming. They've got a chance to go into the lead, but they've got perhaps a free ball as Atkinson finds Freeman on the sponsors logo. 10 out, Spencer hurls it to the left. They can walk this in, can they? Alex Coles has scored! Unbelievable scenes in the Stade. England are rampant, they've got another one.
Well, there's your word, Chris. Rampant. And this is the England team that we've expected to see in this championship. We maybe saw a bit of it against Wales, but we haven't seen England be rampant. We haven't seen these individuals take on the moment, take on the opportunity. And that felt to me like a training ground move a little bit. Grace, the way they drove the line out, went one inside, where one phase crash up the middle and then back to the short side where all the forwards were.
Fantastic. That's where they'd be stationed after that move, but they got on the front foot from the maul. It was aggressive. It forced France to cross the line and give away a penalty, at which point it's game on. Like you said before, it's a free shot. 2 plays, one in the middle, one to the wide outside, as the ball falls off the tee.
Oh, he's going to have to drop kick this, Finn Smith. Oh, he's nailed it! From the touchline, the ball fell off the tee. France advanced, Smith whacked over the droppy. And England lead by 24 points to 17. What a first 35 from Steve Borthwick's men. There is plenty of life left in this England team, but there's a long way to go. You've got to half-time, Kenny, at Kilmarnock.
Sure have, and it's Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0. Shoning Larsson, the Estonia international, with his first ever Kelly goal popping up at the back post. It means if it stays like this, Hearts lead will only be 2 points clear of Celtic at the top. They've got a lot of work to do in the second half, Derek McInnes's men. Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0.
Yeah, lots going on in our big football games tonight as they go into the second half. What will the second half have in store at the Stade de France after this first half, which has yielded 5 tries? We thought 50-40 last weekend in Edinburgh was pretty remarkable and unique, but this game could get there. France 17, England 24. As it stands, Ireland are Six Nations champions, and for those of us who were here to watch France dismantle them on the opening night, what a remarkable turnaround that would be. But there is loads of time to go. 4 minutes left of this first half. England have turned it over and they prod it down the line. Nice kick. The bounce is just going England's way a little bit. Jalabert's in the backfield. Ramos is under pressure. He's got to offload. He throws the ball to Atasogbe. Daring and brave from the French. England almost managed to get there and spoil. But England have France camped on their own 22. The territory possession stats will be well in England's favour after the opening 36 minutes of action. England lead by 7. France, through Dupont, whack it downfield. Quite agricultural from the normally so cultured Antoine Dupont. Elliot Daly glides over the Paris turf on this beautiful still March evening in the French capital. Daly almost got up. France are offside. France advanced after the kick, and England have a chance here. Matt Dawson, slap bang in front. Surely Finn Smith takes the 3. Surely.
We've got 3 points, isn't it? Regroup. 27-17, that's where you want to make it. 10 points. Question France's ability to bounce back. Question whether they're making the right decisions all the time and apply the pressure. And it feels a little bit like Scotland last week. Just that relentless idea of England carrying on playing and questioning France. Pleasure to see.
And we'll circle back to the same themes all the time. The physicality, the pace of play, people offering themselves, whether that's the energy to carry or the energy to clear on the front foot at pace. Rugby union these days, when it's played at this level, is so difficult to defend. So Ben Earl coming off with the split.
Earl's bleeding again. Pollock's going to come on. It's quiet, it's becalmed around the Stade. You heard God Save the King from the travelling fans who have flooded across the channel as Steve Borthwick implored at the start of the championship. Finn Smith for a 10-point lead in Paris. He bangs it through. France 17, England 27, 2 minutes left of the first half.
And they've taken all the air out of the stadium, all the pre-match. The height, the place was rocking. England, so many questions about them. What have they got? Ticker, what have they got between the ears? Well, they're delivering at the moment.
Well, big moment this for Henry Pollock. He's never played in the Stade de France. He's not played an international in France. He's a bit of a pantomime villain, isn't he, across the channel after his games for Northampton against Bordeaux, where they went after the youngster a bit in that Champions Cup final. He won't mind it. You feel he might revel in it, but it's a huge little period for him now, depending on when Earl comes back. England, they give the penalty away this time. The kick was good. The ball was knocked on by France, but it was an early contact in the air. You may have heard the ref nick at Amishakeli. So can England here, Paul Grayson and Matt Dawson, keep the French out as Jalabert? Good kick into the 22. Listen to the noise.
Yeah, just on the 22. Is that enough? You know, England's ball has been so strong. Here in the other small decisions, do England go up and compete? Do they make a mess of it?
Well, France's lineup wasn't that convincing, but they do have decent ball set up in centre field by Barassi. Oh, Dupont starting to go through the guts himself. That's what he will do, keeping the defence interested. England trying to steal that ball and slow it up. There is no scrum half because Dupont was the carrier. There for France, round the fringe. They England are offside, so France will have a chance for 3 and a bit of a free play. They love this stuff, the French. They trail by 10 seconds left of this amazing first half in Paris. 5 Live and BBC Sound as Barassi carries again for the home side, the title chasing French, who at the moment are not doing enough. It's Ireland's championship, with England leading by 10, but France are probing and prodding, and Antoine Dupont is trying to take matters into his own hands. He's wrapped up by a posse of England players, no advantage, penalty, slap bang in front. And with time dead, they can't take a scrum, so they either tap or they kick for 3. They could go for the line out, of course, which will be completed if they do go for the corner. Big call for Dupont, and they're going for the corner, Matt Dawson.
Wow. That is a huge call. Given where France have been in this last sort of 20 minutes, you feel the coaches probably want them in the changing room to reassess. But hey, listen, it's they've got the feel, haven't they? You make those calls when you've got the feel.
The France flags fly. Tens of thousands of flags flying in the stade as France win the line-out. Listen to the noise. 80-odd thousand winning the ball over the line. They're up to the line. Advantage. England could be in yellow card territory here because that is right in the red zone. Claps in the maul, a metre out or so. Dupont is on his knees digging for it. Itoje trying to lead England's defensive effort off the line. Wide he goes to Gross, the loose head. Still there for the French, and Dupont to the left of the post, 5 metres out. England lead by 10 in the stade. Driven on by the debutant Mathieu underneath the English crossbar. This is the kind of pressure that sometimes gets overwhelming when France get on a roll. Ramos knocks on from Jalabet's pass, back for the penalty. Now we listen to referee Amr Shekeli, because England might be going down a man here, or will they go on a final warning? What do you reckon?
I think they're going to have to see something very obvious in the maul.
So we put you on the screen, Brett. We're coming up to you to have a look. If there's a cynical action, probable try as well.
Oh, this could be big, because if they decide it's stopping a try, it's a penalty try and a yellow card, and it's a huge swing.
Yeah, France had the momentum.
I will go to an in-goal camera.
The feet were pumping.
Okay.
Look, that looks like Ellis Genge to me on the spin around. Let's just keep an eye on. He just goes round and spins around, pulling him down, pulling the French maul down. Ellis Genge will be probably yellow carded.
He's under an action.
Well, Marito.
So number 4 has access to the jumper.
No, it's not him. It's the 5. It's just
well, they're trying to single out. They've mentioned 4 Itoje, 5 Coles. Matt Dawson was looking at Ellis Genge. A few England players under the microscope here. They're having a look at this maul, and if they decide, the officials, that a try probably would have been scored were it not for England's illegality, then it will be a penalty try to France, an automatic 7, and quite likely a yellow card as well for England.
Whether he goes in on number 5 or not.
For me, there is
You
action.
can see it from the back.
No way. Brett.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see any other England player bringing the maul down.
For me, there is a space. So next, we have a look on this.
It's not this angle.
I suppose the argument could be
I'm okay with that access.
if France had broken away from the maul, then Ellis Genge could tackle.
Well, the fans naturally don't like
Setup
it.
is good.
What about the man that counts?
Ball advances forward. Number 1 collapses just right before the goal line. That's it. That's a yellow card. It's a penalty try.
It's a penalty try, a yellow card. Matt Dawson on the money. You saw Ellis Genge right away. Genge in the bin, 7 points, huge momentum swing, the last act of this first half. An unwanted history for England. That's an 8th yellow card this tournament. That's the same as Italy in 2002. So they've equalled the record for number of yellow cards in a single campaign. and a massive moment at the end of this first half. Goodness me, how do you possibly take all that in? The score, the most important thing. France 24, England 27, but an automatic 7, a penalty try, and England will have 10 minutes of the second half, a man down. Paul Grayson, then Matt Dawson, then Sonia McLaughlin.
What a half of rugby that is. Full of doubt before the game. Everything coming England's way, questioning whether they've got the minerals, quite frankly, to step up and defy France and throw some shots at them. They've been way better than that. Ball in hand in the right areas, kicking the ball at the right time. Very physical, very powerful, very fast. But conceded a couple of easy tries from one-phase tries, which hurts any team. You don't have to force the opposition to go through a load of phases to score and then conceding at the end and losing a man. There's a lot of work for a 3-point advantage and down to 14 for 10 minutes. Having said that, England have been excellent in the first half.
Yeah, it feels like in the stadium everyone has taken a real sort of moment just to have a couple of breaths, and because that has been scintillating rugby for 40 minutes. That was the sort of game that we thought we were going to be seeing to challenge for the title at the beginning of the Six Nations. The ruck speed from England, the momentum from England was where it has been, and I think if I was in that dressing room right now, you'd be looking at every England player in the eye and saying, look, this is where we are. We belong in this game. There is no need to doubt. There's no need to worry. There is an opportunity within this 23 to go out there and create one of the great England wins.
Well, Sonia, England have been transformed, haven't they? They've scored 4 tries, but their lead is only 3, and they're a man down for the first 10 of the second half. What a 40. What a second half to come. France 24, England 27. Ireland's title as it stands.
It is. It really is the Six Nations that keeps on giving, isn't it? A compelling half of rugby in Paris. Where's this England been during this Six Nations Championship? Chris Jones, are you seeing a significant shift in the style of play? Less boot to ball, more just good old-fashioned forward power up the guts.
And it's decision making, isn't it, Sonia? It's not being pre-planned. Elliot Daly loves those kicks through, but the great All Blacks team of 2015 loved those kicks through. Kicking is really important, but you've got to be unpredictable. You can't be the team that the opposition goes, we know exactly what they're doing, when and where. And England, for the first time in a few weeks, haven't just said, we're only going to attack into the 22. They've been a lot more positive and a lot more kind of open-minded about how they're going about their business. They've scored 4 tries, they've been physical, they've been clinical, but as we've seen from France, they don't need much, do they? Biarritz barely touched the ball, he scored 2 tries, and their forwards went to work there, Genji and the sin bin. Wow, it is all set up for the second half, that is for sure.
Grace, the maul can be much maligned in rugby, can't you? But is it a thing of beauty for England tonight?
Yeah, and when it's done well, it's such a destructive thing because it gathers defenders in behind it to try and stop it. I think that 20-yard maul that England had in the first half down the right-hand touchline, what a statement of intent that is, which won them the penalty. They go to the corner, then they have the big maul and end up scoring. You have so many options off it, which historically this England team will have a maul and then kick the ball away, but today they've played from it. But prior to that, the maul is functioning because they're going after France. It's not a wait-and-see maul. They're getting on the front foot, tight as a drum, powering forward.
We will hear from... Thank you very much, gang. We'll be back to Chris Jones, Paul Grayson and Matt Dawson in Stade de France while they probably eat some sweets and grab a cup of tea and just try and digest what they've just witnessed. England leading France 27-24 at the break. We will be right back to Paris. Remember, earlier today, Arsenal, they've gone 10 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. They beat Everton 2-0. We're going to hear from Mikel Arteta. Can Manchester City respond against West Ham? It's currently 1-1 there. That's all to come after the news with Alison Hughes.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Sonia. President Trump is asking countries, including the UK, France and China, to join the United States in sending warships to secure the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has largely blocked the waterway through which around a fifth of the world's oil is shipped in retaliation for American and Israeli attacks. It's driving up oil prices around the world. Our reporter Simi Jalausho is in Washington.
President Trump has said that the US will secure the strait one way or another. He says that the US will make it open, safe and free through continued strikes on Iranian boats and ships in the region. But he warned that even though he says Iran's navy is badly defeated, that they could still threaten shipping in the area through the means of drones, mines and short-range missiles.
The US Embassy in Baghdad says American citizens should leave Iraq at once after drones struck the embassy building last night. Officials said militia groups aligned with Iran were encouraging and conducting attacks on US targets across Iraq. A 43-year-old woman has been arrested on suspicion of murder after the death of a baby girl who fell from a flat. Police say the baby was 18 days old. The Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, says she'll help households struggling with higher heating costs as a result of the war in the Middle East. She told The Times she was looking at different options for targeted support for those who are most vulnerable. The BBC spoke to some people in Belfast.
It's at the stage now where it's nearly cheaper to go into work instead of work from home rather than heat your house.
I have pensioners around me who have health issues, worried sick about turning on their oil heating.
There's a lot of people struggling to pay for these bills, so it'd be great to see some sort of intervention.
And police in Coventry are asking anyone with information to come forward after the body of a man was found in a wheelie bin which had been left in Cash's Park. Officers believe the man, who's thought to be in his 40s, was put there after being hit by a car yesterday afternoon.
This Red Nose Day, we're bringing the funny.
What a way to start the show.
The Traitors, the movie, is back.
I do think you're a traitor.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not a traitor.
You are.
No.
You are.
I am not.
We visit Amanda Land with more than one Amanda.
My content's finally broken through to the mainstream.
Dermot O'Leary and Alison Hammond try new ways of raising money.
Let's all remain calm, people.
We're just here for the money.
The nation's favourite Nan joins us in the studio.
Don't make me laugh.
And much more. Red Nose Day, Friday night at 7 on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sports, the Six Nations with Sonia McLaughlin.
Welcome back. Anxious Ireland players over in Dublin because as it stands, they would win the Six Nations title because France are currently losing to England, the visitors, 27-24 up at half-time, having scored 4 tries. But they will start the second half with Ellis Genge in the bin. Brought a maul down, conceded the penalty try, and he got a yellow card for his sins. We will be right back to Paris. We've got one Premier League match tonight. It's at the London Stadium into the second half between West Ham and Manchester City. Paul Gilmore.
Evening, we've played 5 minutes of the second half. Arsenal will be loving this scoreline. West Ham 1, Manchester City 1. But there has been a response at the beginning of the half from the visitors. Marmoush got himself into the area, the angle was tight, and he dragged his shot wide. West Ham 1, Manchester City 1.
So if it stays like that, it means Arsenal will be 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League at the end of the day. Arsenal left it really late to beat Everton 2-0. Victor Gyökeres scoring in the 88th minute. And then 16-year-old Max Dowman, here's a name to remember, scoring in injury time.
No one in goal for Everton. Corner kick, James Garner to take on the right-hand side. Arsenal leading 1-0 on 5-line. Gyökeres wins the header. It's then Martinelli trying to clear it away. Oh, this is going to be trouble. Dowman on the counter-attack is going to run it in. He can savour these moments. He can enjoy it. His first ever Arsenal goal wins the game for sure. As Arsenal say to Manchester City, catch us if you can.
Well, yeah, Max Dowman becoming the Premier League's youngest ever scorer, just 16. Potentially he's provided the spark for Arsenal's first title in 22 years. Here's manager Mikel Arteta.
Mikel, half hour after the final whistle, have you had a chance to calm down yet? What a sensational end to the football match.
It was a beautiful feeling. I think what we witnessed out there today in the last few minutes of the game, it was such a special moment. The way it built up, you could sense, that relentless desire from the team, the crowd to find a way to win the game. And in the manner that we've done it, it was one of the best moments that I think we all together had at the Emirates, and I think we'll remember this one for a long, long time, and people would talk about it in 10, 20 years. I was at the Emirates when I was a kid at 16, ran over the halfway line and scored a massive goal for the club.
Is that how you all feel in the dressing room? Because that's a big statement. You've had some huge results since you've been here. The Champions League wins. Is that how you all feel now? That's one of the biggest.
It was so special because we knew how important this game was as well. 3-4 weeks now when we're not going to have a Premier League match in the manner that we've done it, and the fact that Max obviously was carrying the ball for 50 meters, so it was like a lot of seconds, everybody hoping for that moment to click, and then the reaction, the happiness in everybody's face, it makes it very special.
Can you talk us through the emotions? So you go 1-0 up in the 89th, then Everton send Jordan Pickford up, you score with Max Dowman. I mean, just talk us through that mad 40 seconds. What are you thinking? Because you're laughing about it now.
I don't know. You just said everything that we do, everything that I do is worth it. I think those are the moments that pay off, you know, especially when you feel a team with that desire to win and to together find a way to achieve the dream that we all have, and when that happiness comes across in the manner that happened today, it's like how lucky we are to do what we do.
Max Dowman, what's he got? Because 16-year-olds, you know, some are doing their A-levels, other parents are 16-year-olds. I mean, to do that in front of 60,000 people, the ovation he got walking off the pitch, because he lit up the pitch, didn't he, the creativity?
Well, unquestionably, he has an incredible talent, but I think what sets him apart is his personality and the way he handles the context, the pressure, the situation. It's not normal.
Max Dowman, remember the name. Now, Newcastle won 1-0 at Stamford Bridge, delivering a blow to Chelsea's Champions League qualification hopes. Anthony Gordon with the goal. Let's hear from Chelsea manager Liam Rosenior. His side are currently 5th, but they have played one more game than their Champions League rivals.
Frustration is the word. Again, up to the final third, in control, dominate the game through our possession, arrive in the areas we wanted to. We just couldn't find that final pass, final shot or cross that could unlock a team that came set up here to defend, and they did it very well.
As you say, they came in to defend for large parts of the game, but why do you think it was today that you didn't have that cutting edge?
No, I think we started the game very well, first 15-20 minutes. I felt the goal was coming even in that moment. And then we switch off on a press, they play a pass through, they get a goal, gives them momentum, gives them confidence, and we lose a little bit of confidence in the game. After that, we regather, we make an attacking change. We bring Liam on at half-time. Second half is wave after wave of attack. Clear penalty on Cole Palmer, that's not given. You need these things to happen. And then we come out of the game with a defeat when on another day we could have won the game comfortably.
I was going to ask you about that penalty.
Well, tell me how it's not clear penalty. I don't understand. I don't understand how we have VAR and we miss those decisions. Like, he's kicked him on the ankle. He's in the box. It's a penalty. It's very, very simple, and that's a really, really bit of pill to swallow.
Have you spoken to the referee? Because there was another bizarre moment where the referee stood in the middle of your huddle.
Yeah, like there's things that he's focused on. It wasn't me, it was my assistant. He spoke to my assistant before the game, making a big deal out of a huddle where my team showed togetherness. There's no disrespect to the opposition or anyone else. My team decided with their leadership group they wanted to do a huddle. Now the referee's more focused on that than actually doing his job and getting the right decision, and it's a really, really frustrating one this evening.
That's your football. Let's turn to golf. It's the third day of the Players' Championship at Sawgrass. England's Justin Rose, Matt Fitzpatrick putting some pressure on the leader. Sarah Mulkerrins.
Yes, they certainly are. Ludwig Aubert, he is the overnight leader and he remains 2 shots clear of the rest of the field. He bogeyed the 4th, birdied the 9th, so he is still on 12 under with American Cameron Young doing well. He's on 10 under. But Matt Fitzpatrick has charged up the leaderboard. He birdied the 16th hole and now he has hit a fabulous approach into the Island Green, the iconic 17th hole over the water, and he pitched his effort just to within about 6 inches of the flag. So by the time it rolled out, he's going to have about a foot for a birdie, and that would move him potentially, if he was to sink that, to 10 under. So just 2 off the lead. Justin Rose was going well, but a tough finish on those iconic 3-hole finishing stretch. He bogeyed the 16th after finding the water and then bogeyed the 18th. So he has dropped back down to 6 under. So that's 6 off the lead of Sweden's Ludwig Aubert.
Thank you very much, Sarah. To the tennis, Indian Wells. It's the first men's semi-final. Alex Zverev against Yannick Sinner. Russell Fuller.
And Yannick Sinner has a third set point, leading 5-2 with a double break advantage and 40-30 against Alex Zverev. They both started superbly on serve over the first 4 games, but since then the Zverev game has collapsed. Jeff Tarango is watching alongside me. So many unforced errors from the German, Jeff.
Yeah, and all wide. You know, he's drifting his forehand cross court, his backhand cross court, and he's thrown in a couple double faults. It just really came off the rails.
Backhand from Sinner as he tries to close out the first set on a third set point. His backhand with a bit of air onto the sideline, and Zverev long with the backhand, and it's taken just 31 degrees in 31 minutes in 34 degree heat for Yannick Sinner to win the first set of the first semi-final against Alex Zverev by 6-2.
Thanks, Russ. To Kilmarnock Hearts, Kenny Crawford.
55 minutes gone, still Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0. Kilmarnock 11th in the league, but showing a lot of spirit and a lot of quality tonight as well. This is a real test for Hearts' title winning credentials. 8 games to go after tonight. If they lose this one, they'll only be 2 points clear of Celtic. Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0.
The tennis from Indian Wells, that's on Sports Extra 3. The golf at the minute is on Sports Extra. You're on 5 Live in Paris with Chris Jones.
And it's taken in by England and Ollie Chessum, one of England's 4 try scorers. Remarkably in that fantastic first half of Six Nations rugby, and what has just been one of the great championships, hasn't it? Second half just underway. France 24, England 27. As it stands, it's Ireland's title, but there are many, many twists in the tale still to come, particularly as England are down a man for the first 10 minutes of this second half. They've equalled the number of yellow cards Italy got, 9 in 2002, so an unwanted record for England. Discipline, a recurring theme, and a problem today, even in a vastly improved performance. But France are going, and they're offloading through their forwards as they've done to such good effect this tournament. There's Jalabert when he gets his tail up. It is a sight to behold. They trundle on again. The French just short of the 22. Jalabert finds massive Mani Miafou, wrapped up by Chessum. 10-metre line for France, and Flamand, as England can't put too much pressure on that ruck. They're going through the guts through Gross. Pepper is there trying to steal. It's nicely done as France get away through out to Sogby. Charles Olivon, is he in for the try? He's hauled down by Finn Smith. He offloads to Dupont. Dupont over the top. Oh, he's got a hat-trick. Biel Biarri. And France have come storming out of the blocks against 14 men England, who now have to recover to that French blitz at the start of the second half. And Louis Biel Biarri is cementing himself as one of the great try scorers in Six Nations history. A 41-minute hat-trick.
France meant business. They were on the field a full minute and a half before England came out of the changing rooms. They were set up and ready to go. There's one fly-half who you don't want to be up against when you're down 14 to 14 men. Mathieu Jalibert is an absolute wizard at finding space. France doing exactly what they wanted to do. Score immediately. Let's pile it on them. Even if it's not points, it's energy.
France have had a rocket there at half-time. An absolute rocket from whoever. I'm sure Sean Edwards was front and centre. They have obliterated the game of rugby in that passage of play. It was awesome to watch. They scored it, turned around, there were like 2 or 3 high fives, hardly any elation, but you go, come on then, let's have this again.
And Ramos splits the post with the conversion from the left touchline. France 31, England 27. England are really taking their time with this restart, as you would expect, given that they are down to 14. 7 minutes left of that Ellis Genge. Oh, they're in front of the kicker, England.
You're all in front.
And it's going to be a French
point complaining.
Everybody
all the England players have put their arms up as if to say what you're talking about. They were miles ahead of Finn Smith in his kick. Little errors.
Well, what a test of England's character here, Paul Grayson. They've been so improved for 43 minutes, well, particularly the first 40. They've not had the ball in the first 3 of this second half. But we know what France could do when they get on a roll in this place, and they might just be sniffing a bit of England vulnerability, having scored that try to lead by 4 with Ellis Genge in the sin bin for the next 6 minutes.
Yeah, and free-flowing France. In commentary there, it's second row to back row. Get your arms free. Suddenly we're on the front foot. Atisogbe makes a break up the middle. And then when they're in behind, they're sensational at finding the easiest way to solve the puzzle. That time it was back to the short side and a wide pass from Dupont. But talk about little errors in the game that give the opportunity, your opposition the opportunity. That's basic. 3 or 4 England players ahead of Finn Smith when he kicked off. Gifted a scrum with 7 men in the pack, or 8 and some space somewhere else.
Well, Ben Earl's had to leave the field because Bevan Rodd has come on, so the scrum can be a contest. And it's going to be a France penalty. They were taking a while to set. You feel that England were trying to eat up the clock. Referee Nika Amashekeli, very wise to any delaying tactics. And then England go to the floor, and it's a penalty to the French. And Jalibert is getting a lesson from Amashekeli about not encroaching. But he kicks from left to right on the pitch, opens himself up and drills it up to the 22. France 31, England 27. World Cup winner Matt Dawson. What a big 5 minutes left in this Ellis Genge sin bin.
Yeah, just noticing France made a couple of changes, didn't they, at half time, just to change the emphasis of how they want to play, bringing on even more bulk, just to take more energy out of England. Very clever, very subtle change from France.
Yeah, good spot. Mikel Guillard is on. Jalibert's through. Could be another try as Moefana links with Barassi. 3 minutes out. They have such an overlap to the left. If England slow it up, they can just manage to stem the tide slightly, but they would have walked in if they'd used it. France wanting another try. England get the penalty. Oh, what a hustle from England. They were away. Jalibert is cooking with gas, but somehow England stay firm. France give the penalty away. Good jackal is the verdict of Nika Amashekeli, the ref, and England, through Elliot Daly, can gleefully and with bucket loads of relief drill it out of their territory. They trail by 4 minutes left on the Genge sin bin. Daly, slightly heavy kick, but it's up to the 10-metre line.
Massive moment there after the line break up the middle. England just simply didn't look like they were going to have time to get people around the corner and defend the next phase. Moefana chopped in a loose pass. Barassi on the ground, and then the captain Maro Itoje gets his arms in there, saves England. Still just under 4 minutes left on the sin bin. It's France to make a couple more changes.
So interesting how they're using their bench, France. Guillard on, Malbaka on, Bamba on. Steve Borthwick left it so late in Rome to use his subs. What will he do now? When will he get the likes of Underhill and Van Porphy, Marcus Smith, Chandler Cunning himself? England win the line out. Ben Spencer's kick, it goes high and sort of infield. This is anyone's, isn't it? It's been tapped back, but it's on the French side. And the French have it, leading by 4. Penalty to France. England's discipline just starting to lapse the game, and it's giving France an easy way of getting into English territory. They will do just that. They're playing at pace, they're playing at tempo. As you say, Matt Dawson, they would have had words from their management. He would have said, come on, there's a title to win here. France now have the line on the 22. France 31, England 27, 47 gone.
There are going to be just a few moments here that Maro Itoje has to get a grip of his team to be super disciplined. And if it means France having the pill, then give them the pill, because the discipline's going to ruin this brilliant first half if England are not careful.
Well, 1 7-pointer in the second half and they're down a man might be okay. Another one could be game defining. Jalibert is stepping into the 22. He goes. What a pickup was that? Mayafu one-handed. How has he done that? Dupont, Bielbieri, Ramos, Atisogbe. Lovely hands down the right from the French. Willed on by this fervent home crowd in Saint-Denis. Lovely ball again. Bamba from Mayafu. This is class from France, who lead by 4. They've got a title up for grabs here, Le Bleu. Guillard again, he's had a great championship. He's under the English crossbar. They're digging for it. Penalty coming. Could even be another yellow for England. This is, oh, they've got a penalty. Not a try, they've gone quickly and they're going to walk it in. Atisogbe. Maro Itoje was gesturing something, but the try's been given. England's defence, their discipline creaking, and France have hit them with a blizzard in this second half. France 36, England 27.
Trace it back. 3 men offside from a kick-off. Hands possession to France on the halfway line. Set piece, destroyed England's scrum. Then they're into your territory. Here it comes, and eventually a quick tap penalty from underneath the posts. Fired out to the right-hand side. Atisogbe to score. Momentum, times in discipline, equals.
Listen, we all get plenty of messages from friends and family and social media and all the rest of it, and I have been, for once I've read a few of them this week, particularly from social media, and a few of them have been a bit, come on, Dawson, you're always talking about the past, and I'll just reiterate, there is a classic example of what Grace has just said. On the halfway line, a kick-off, a basic moment, whether you're playing in the 80s or you'll be playing in the 2030s, those are the moments and the basics that if you want to win big games like this, it has to be spot on.
Ramos has drilled over the kick as well. So when you think about it, that 7 at the end of the half, that rolling maul and Genge pulling down the line out, it's cost England 21 points in all. France now lead by 38 points to 27 as France win the kick. Oh, they're just playing now heads up rugby. We're going to go to West Ham in a moment with Paul, but France can maybe put this game to bed and the championship to bed as Barassi goes up to halfway. Oh, that's gorgeous. Down the right goes Atisogbe. Jalibert is loving it at the moment, playing heads up rugby. Brilliant creativity from the French. And they might have numbers here. Interception! Ollie Chesham! He's going to go in! He's got the pace! That is incredible! Chesham celebrates! And England, unbelievably, are right back in it!
I think I've seen a couple of Irish shirts going absolutely bonkers in the crowd there, quite rightly. Ollie Chesham, take your moment, your pick. Interception, shut the gate, try time from probably in years to come. He's intercepted that from his own 22.
That's clearly offside.
Wow, he has been magnificent tonight, Ollie Chesham. He's got 2 tries. Bristling in the week when we spoke to him on the pod, and a man full of intent today. Wow, what a performance from Chesham, and England have now cut the gap to 6. Finsmith's got to kick everything in sight. They'll be up to 15, won't they, with Genge coming back on. And then we wait to see whether Steve Borthwick will start to use his bench. Finsmith, 6 metres in from the touchline. Is this going across the face? It is. He's missed a few, hasn't he, with the boot, Finsmith. France 38, England 32 to West Ham. Paul Gilmore.
20 minutes left, still 1-1 worryingly for West Ham. Erling Haaland a little bit more involved, a couple of chances, a first sniff of goal, he struck low but it was parried behind by Hermansen before dragging wide. West Ham defending so well, fighting for everything, but just signs Man City are increasing the pressure. West Ham 1, Man City 1.
Thanks a lot, Paul. France 38, England 32. Ben Earl is back with a scrum cap on, and they have made a change at number 9. Ben Spencer had one of his best games for England, didn't he? But he's off on 51. Jack Van Poortvliet is on. Van Poortvliet kicks. This one will be easily taken by Ramos just inside the English half. And England with the tackling on the 10-metre line. They have to be squeaky clean with the penalties. They can't afford yellow cards. Look how costly that Genge yellow was in terms of the scoreboard. The game completely flipped on its head in that time. France, to the left they come, halfway line, Jalibert, Biel-Biarritz wants a 4th, he kicks, it's taken by Finsmith, and is he looking to run? He's caught by a couple, he's got his knees down, that's a tackle, and the referee's been really well communicating today. He tells the French players to let him down, and they oblige. Set up by England, and now Van Poortvliet. Will he go to the sky and ask Tom Roebuck to chase? Yes, he will. The kick from Van Poortvliet into the still Parisian air. This time Roebuck gets up and does really well, and now England try to come alive from the crumbs. Finsmith had Atkinson, he is a running threat today, penalty advantage, and now Jack Van Poortvliet's running. That's what Danny Kerr called for in the week on the Rugby Union Weekly. We'll have all the reaction to this incredible final day of this incredible championship. They're going to get the penalty. Finn Smith kicks it away. Right, decision time. Matt Dawson and Paul Grayson, World Cup winners, men who have been in this arena in the white-hot heat of battle. You're 6 points down. You've got a penalty, halfway line. Elliot Daly is walking up. He was banging them over from around here in the warm-up.
I think given the way that England's maul has been going, you'd fancy the chances of trying to kick deep down into French territory and question what the French have got in that fringe defence, because England have been all over them. The physicality of those boys in white jerseys has been next level.
You can detect a grumble from the crowd. Henry Pollock's got his tracksuit off and his face was just on the big screen. If they boo you, they fear you. Hopefully he can come on and make a difference. Alex Cole receiving treatment on the floor. Back to the Chesham try. We'd said early in the piece that France were playing the long ball into the middle, splitting the field. Jalibert freewheeling. Chesham went on the gamble. Hit it like a steam train going the other way. Brilliant for him.
And that's the other side of the Mathieu Jalibert, such a great attacking player, but perhaps got ever so slightly carried away. You can't really blame him. The way France were playing, they were playing divine rugby. And look, Chesham is a second row come flanker who's gone in from 60, so you're going to only praise, but if he got a bit close to the post, then maybe it makes the kick easier. Having said that, Finn Smith has missed a couple, hasn't he, which he would normally expect to get. He's only converted 2 of England's 5 tries.
Cole's off, Chris. Pollock will go on, Chesham will move up into the row. Marcus Smith off the bench, Elliot Daly off. Bit of a reshuffle for England, not going for goal either. Finn Smith needs to get it in the 22.
He's done that, and this is complete again to go back to the theme of this being different from England compared to last week in terms of thought and deed, but also in terms of the proactivity of the use of the bench from Steve Borthwick. He kept so many of these players back, but Luke Cowan-Dickie is now on. Henry Pollock is on. Bevan Rodd is on. Jack Van Poortvliet is on. Marcus Smith is on. Ollie Chesham wins it at the line out. Peeled away. Pepper finds Atkinson. Slap bang in centre field. A converted try puts England in the lead. There's Ben Earl with his scrum cap. He's about 8-9 metres out or so. Good boss from Earl. There for Van Poortvliet. England deep in the French 22. They trail by 6. France 38, England 32. Finn Smith, has he got numbers? He's thrown a dummy. He's trying to keep the French guessing. Will he pass, run or kick? There's Henry Pollock. He's 15 metres in from the touchline. Nice ball. Van Poortvliet, Itoje, great offload. Tommy Freeman to within 6 or 7. Good tackling by France and Bielbiarri. There goes Luke Cowan-Dickie. He's won on this pitch for England 10 years ago. Jack Van Poortvliet, Guy Pepper to within 5 or 6. Ellis Genshu is back on after his bin. He hasn't been replaced by Rodd. He sets it up now. Van Poortvliet digs. Finds Cowan-Dickie, means business, and is up to about 6 metres from the French line with 25 minutes to go. What a game on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Seb Atkinson to within 4 metres or so, very close to the right touchline. Ed Genge can't get isolated. Does well, Genge. Van Poortvliet, Ben Earl. Big bust into centre field from the number 8. There for Van Poortvliet, who's brought tempo. Finn Smith again, he's running. He's underneath the crossbar practically. France holding firm, but England searching and asking so many questions of the title-chasing French, who at the moment are winning the trophy back-to-back. But there is so much to go with 24 minutes left of this game. Guy Pepper's in at scrum half. He's got Pollock with him. 5 or 6 metres from the French line. 16 phases of unrelenting pressure from England as Earl is caught. And France are on that ball. They're going to get a penalty. Are they? France? No. England just about get there in time. That was so close. Marcus Smith is almost in. He is in, Smith. Has he got it down? He has. What impact from Marcus Smith. Confidence and strength to ground the ball. And England are a conversion away from going back in the lead in this extraordinary game of rugby.
Constant pressure from England, recycling the ball. A couple of times they've been hit really hard in the midfield. Genge managing to get an offload away, keep the attack alive. Van Poortvliet challenging round the breakdown.
Every time. Okay.
Just saying a changing kicker here, Grace.
Yeah, interesting.
Please, if it's something clear, we're going to.
Marcus Smith grabbing the ball in the tee. Finn Smith not in the groove. Every point so far. I mean, they've said for years and probably will do, forwards win matches. How unbelievable have that forward pack been for England? That is a performance beyond our wildest dreams.
Smith kicked the goal. He's kicked the goal. What an impact from Smith. Barely got on in Rome, but he scored the try. He's banged over the kick from a tricky angle. France 38, England 40. There are still 22 and a half minutes to go, Paul Grayson.
Well, I'll hold my hand up and said it won't be 50-40. It might be 60-50.
Oh, wow. What a game, what a sport, what a championship. Benal under it, loses it, backwards, France is straight away into the England 22. They have to stay switched on here, England, don't they? Because France are pressing. Penalty though to England. Itoje was there again, what a match he's having at the breakdown. England survived. France 38, England 39. I said it was 38-40. Losing count. France 38, England 39. Back to Paul Gilmore at West Ham.
12 minutes remaining of normal time. West Ham 1, Manchester City 1. Pep Guardiola has sent on Cherki, Doku, Reinders and Foden. They're all on the pitch, and Cherki just had a chance a moment ago, forcing a save from Hermansen. All Man City at the moment. West Ham defending resolutely. It's 1-1.
Thanks a lot. We're going to go to Kilmarnock in a sec, but somehow Theo Atasogbe kept that kick in. That was a stupendous act of skill from the right winger for France, because he was outside the pitch and managed to then jump back in. Kick from Ramos. England have to take these aerial balls. They don't. Louis Biarri does, and the crowd are getting behind their team. It's been charged down by England from Dupont's little kick. Dupont has got the ball, then he's definitely lost it. Right, England with the scrum on halfway. They lead by a point, almost at the hour mark. France 38, England 39, coming from Killy Kenny.
76 minutes gone, Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0. Big 15 minutes ahead for the league leaders as they try and salvage something from this match. Their away form hasn't been good recently, and it's not been good form from Dennis McInnes's men tonight. Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0.
Thanks a lot, Kenny Crawford. OK. Well, seeing a replay, I don't know how Atasogbe's done that. The rugby on show tonight has just been a joy to watch, hasn't it? France 38, England 39, slap bang on the hour mark. Paul Grayson and Matt Dawson, where is your money?
What are we waiting for? Let's go.
Well, who blinks first here? France made a couple of mistakes, had temporarily lost control of the game. Chalibert not sure whether to kick or to run. Once Atasogbe had won that brilliant, kept the ball in play, might have been looking as a Frenchman to drill the ball deep, force England to play out as it was. They had a little bit of a crack, gave England the opportunity to put pressure on Dupont, trying to flip it over the top. So England in the ascendancy at the moment.
England scrum, 15, more like 18 metres in from the touchline, so really just to the right of centre field.
No, hang on. I speak now, I speak.
Yeah, France, no question, rattled physically.
Quick reset, don't take a risk, let's go.
They know there's parity in these set pieces, and therefore they're not getting that momentum. They're not getting those little nudges through the contact area. They're not getting front foot ball, and therefore they're slightly, for me, forcing the play rather than getting into momentum type moves to then finish off with the likes of Biarri.
Right, the scrum has taken a while to set. You hear the Marseillaise, which comes halfway through each half. England win the free kick, just getting those calls, aren't they? Edging the scrum battle ever so slightly. Luke Cowan-Dickie, I mean, Jamie George waited 78 minutes, didn't he, last week against Italy? This time, Steve Borthwick has gone to his double lion much earlier. Finn Smith put up a kick, and that's not really gone. Itoje was nearly on that. It has ended up in French possession, but the kick from Smith really didn't go very far, went very high, and then it was knocked back by France, and Itoje was nearly onto it. Anyway, it's in French hands, Paul Grayson, just outside their own 22. England's lead is a point.
He's looked a different player tonight, Maro Itoje. He's all over the place and still has breath in his lungs to argue most points with the ref.
Dupont goes for territory. Marcus Smith is on at fullback. Finn Smith looks crossfield for Tommy Freeman. This is interesting. Will it sit up for Freeman? Yes, it will. Tommy Freeman into the 22. Marcus Smith is there. England are only 20 out. Jack Van Poortvliet is caught. Referee was happy that there wasn't an offside, and France get the turnover this time. Brilliant vision, England. Finn Smith crossfield to his Northampton teammate. England made 50-60 metres with that play, but then France grabbed hold of Jack Van Poortvliet, forced the turnover, pushing and shoving from the forwards. This one is on a knife edge. France 38, England 39. As it stands, it is Ireland's Six Nations title.
Yeah, Pollock in the middle of it. Because with France being given the penalty, Pollock taking the ball and walking away.
Do we know what happened?
Got a shove in the back to try and get the ball back from a Frenchman, and then it all sort of unravelled and got a little bit handbagged at dawn.
All right, so we're going to warn them. Time is off. Captains, come here.
Okay, so is this just a warning? Captain! Maro Itoje is, well, 3 or 4 times Nick Rabaskeli has said captain. Itoje's back was to the ref. Let's listen into this.
So then, England 21 took a ball away. Your guy pushed him in. Don't take a ball away. Don't push him in. So we're going to say it was the original penalty, okay? No more. No more.
Yeah, but it's the second time.
And then Antoine Dupont had a little chirp at the ref. Both captains liberal with their feedback to the Georgian referee. Holding on against England, so France have the penalty. It's deep in French territory, but it will give France a chance to get out. Itoje is pointing at Dupont. It's pretty heated, it's feisty, and why not?
It's good though, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. I like the fact it's getting a bit edgy. I like the fact that Maro Itoje's making the point. And you feel like England are getting right underneath the French skin.
Good crossfield kick out of defence by Finn Smith to his clubmate Freeman on the wide outside. And then a hack from Jalibert there into touch, made no ground at all.
Well, this is where games are won and lost, and championships are won and lost. Jalibert, who's just running himself like a forward there. England are on that ball looking for the... There were some cries from England, primeval cries that suggested they were going to get a penalty, but the referee not moved there for Dupont, who's has another very influential game, putting a few tries on a plate for teammates. The gap is 1, but it's not a cagey affair. France 38, England 39, 4 French tries, 6 England tries. England transformed in terms of their approach compared to this time last week. Flamont played it away from the ruck. England are putting a fair bit of pressure. Knock on France. Look at England's body language. An England team that all tournament have looked a bit flat. They are anything but at the moment. And they will have a scrum, and as we wait for that to settle, a good time for us to go back to West Ham. Big chance there, Paul.
Yes, still 1-1, but Manchester City getting closer. A free kick wide on the left-hand side. Reinders fired it in, but it clipped the top of the bar. Manchester City with time running out, 5 minutes left. It's West Ham 1, Man City 1.
Intensity in the test match, isn't there? Nerves from France. Can't find a way out. England's defensive intensity high up the pitch is ferocious. Dupont went for a little snipe. Itoje was on him in the blink of an eye, looking to hold him up. It really is everything we hope for from England.
Yeah, there's going to be a moment, we're 16 minutes left in this game. There is going to be a moment where it's going to test England, a decision, a bit of discipline.
Well, the ball was out, said the referee. Then it was knocked on by Francois Cross. Now the question is whether that was a penalty kind of knock-on or just a scrum knock-on. It was a deliberate knock-on, so England had the penalty. I think they just want to take this, don't they? Or maybe they don't. Murley wants to keep going. They don't want to gobble this advantage up and then lose the ball. Hayes, he sets it up. England. No, it wasn't deliberate. He's changed his mind there, the ref. Then it's been kicked through. Earl's onto it. He knocks it on, and France come away with it through Ramos.
The penalty advantage is what's confirmed, okay? It was just a knock-on.
Yeah, so he's changed his mind a few times. Then it's been kicked by Dupont. Biarritz in for a 4th here. Will it sit up for him? Oh, yes it will. He kicks to himself and scores a 4th. And listen to the noise around the Stade de France. England were pressing. They thought they had a penalty advantage. The referee said no, it was just a scrum. Maro Itoje is going to be cross about that. He's talking to the ref, but then they saw the space the French, as they have all game, and Biel Biarri has got 4 now, and France move 4 points clear with the kick to come.
That is insane to be able to come up with that piece of skill at that speed. The flipper over the top from Dupont. Biel Biarri's always going to win the race. England charging back. A feather-like touch. There's a diving England player. Knocks him off his feet, recovers and scores. That's sensational.
I can understand this. I can understand that Maro Itoje is livid. Because from that scrum, I'm not sure it was necessarily deliberate, but there was no advantage for England. I didn't feel like you went through a load of really progressive phases. And it's such the enormity of the game in the position of that pitch, and it was close to being a penalty, but wasn't. You've got to go back. You've got to go back for that knock-on.
Well, the scrum knock-ons are always short, aren't they? But if you've said to the players, advantage for a penalty knock-on,
correct,
then they're going to approach everything differently. Then
right.
He changed his mind. I think as the ref there, you've got to say, look, sorry, got my comms a bit wrong, scrum England.
I could not agree with you anymore, Chris. You've nailed it. That is a poor decision given the enormity of the game.
Ramos kicks the 2. France 45, England 39. England are 6 behind. A converted try, still wins it and still hands the title to Ireland. But at the moment, it's France's championship. Paul Gilmore at West Ham.
Where Manchester City are throwing everything at the home side at this moment in time. There are just under 2 minutes of normal time. It remains 1-1. Haaland came close. It just didn't drop for him in the penalty area. But Manchester City doing everything to keep the pressure on Arsenal. 1-1.
Right, and let's go to Kenny at Kilmarnock as France just set it up out of defence.
86 minutes gone, still Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0. The hosts doing so well to stifle their opponents, and it was Kelly who nearly went 2-0 up through Finlay. Curtis with a curling shot over the bar. Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0.
Right, England in the backfield, Marcus Smith. England have got plenty of time here. They can't panic. They can't be overly fraught, or they can't be thinking they've been hard done by a bit with the decisions there, and the referee changing his mind over a penalty and a scrum, and then Biel Biarri getting in for his 4th try. Oh, that's been tapped back by France. Henry Pollock was lurking, but Jalibert's off, and he gets the offload away. When they go forward, they are so dangerous, France, but it's been ripped and England have it. Right, there's space in the backfield if Seb Atkinson kicks. He does, but he needed that more towards the touchline. Back goes to Pont. There are 4 English players that they can get him down, and they can get a turnover maybe. Caden Murley's on that ball. No, nicely done, France. They resource it well. But England have France where they want them if they can just keep a bit of discipline here now. England with the tackling. They got a good turnover there a moment ago. They've just got to keep over the top their composure. 12.5 minutes left of the greatest Six Nations championship in history. France 45, England 39. Every single game on this final day captivating and compelling. Dupont, big match play, big player. Nice kick, taking England off 50 plus metres there. England will have the line out on their own 10 because of that Dupont clearance.
Yeah, amazing clearing kick from Antoine Dupont. Finn Smith potentially could have caught it and just taken a quick line out to one of his retreating England players. England about to empty the bench.
Yeah, they need to, and the messages need to be clear as well. Just keep playing the way that you've been playing. England are going to find themselves with another 1 or 2 opportunities.
One in the line out, good hands, England and Chesham. Ellis Genge a bit isolated, but a good bust from the England loosehead prop, who'll be desperate to make amends for that yellow card at the end of the first half. Jack Van Poortvliet's kick, can England get this one? Up go the French, it's back in the hands of Charles Olivon, their number 8. Chesham with the tackling. England looking to turn that over, but no, it's there for France, and Dupont finds Bamba, 10-metre line, centre field. France lead by 6 with 10.5, almost 11 minutes to go in the Stade de France. BBC Sounds, 5 Live. Your home of the Six Nations. Dupont's kick, Finn Smith, bravely done from the England 10, takes it. What do England do now? They come to the left, Murley over to Cowan Dickey, who very low to the ground, trucks it up. Have England got enough energy left? There's Ben Earl, who's back on with his scrum cap. He sets the ball up. England are in their own half. Remember, they played such enterprising, ambitious rugby in the first 70 minutes and scored 6 tries. Up goes Murley. Oh, they tried to get that Underhill, but he couldn't get it. And France will have the scrum. England did almost win that tap back. Underhill was onto the ball, just couldn't pick it up off his bootlaces. And it's going to be a France scrum in their own half. France 45, England 39. Exactly 10 minutes to go of the game and the championship.
He just felt Underhill just put the boot on it, do anything, get the ball in behind. It was an impossible ball to go for. On your bootlaces, running full tilt, just put the boot on it, make it into a little bit of an old school chase. I'm still convinced England have got to play this. I think that's 3 box kicks in the last maybe 5 phases. You've got to play. There's no way that they've got France on the rack, but they do know how to get around and through France. They don't need to go to the air all the time.
It was a great catch and carry, wasn't it, from Genge off a really wide pass from the set piece. England just on the front foot and immediately kicked it away.
Penalty England from the scrum. Massive moment.
Second free kick, it goes to a penalty.
And France have gone early twice, so it's a free kick offence, but if you do it twice, it's a penalty.
Yeah, that's the work of Marrow. I tell you right now, that if anything results of this, it's down to his captaincy, because he's been superb at getting in the ref's ear and just constantly reminding them and remembering other occasions and other free kicks. Just that little nudge to the referee before the engagement to say, just remember what happened in the last one, ref, we're feeling really comfortable about ours. Brilliant captaincy.
France 45, England 39. France are winning the Six Nations, but there are still 8.5 minutes to play, and England have a line out 18 metres out or so. Their maul has been good and they're edging forward here. They've got it nicely controlled, and they've got a penalty advantage. It's not quite as close to the line as the one that led to a penalty try, but England will feel that France should have a man in the bin here for consistency, and I think that might be the case. Antoine Dupont is being summoned. Is it a warning or is it a card? It's a warning. It's a warning against France. I think if it was much closer to the line, then England would have had a case for a French yellow card. But, Matt Dawson, they kick it to within 5, England, and France are now on a warning. This is huge.
On a warning, but probably most importantly, this is the strongest part of England's game so far today. 6 metres out.
They're going to get a yellow card here, France, because they've taken Underhill out in the air. They're going to the bin. You heard the referee. England have a free play. A Frenchman's going in the bin. They've got penalty advantage. Seb Atkinson always got through, there. He put his head down, the Gloucester man. He's to within 10. They're picking and going through the indomitable Ben Earl. Out it comes now to Finn Smith, who kicks for Murley, and then it was belted out of play. But here it comes, the yellow card. Who's it going to?
Going back for advantage. No.
Antoine Dupont remonstrates. 18. Demba Bamba in the bin. They've lost their tight head, France. England have a penalty. France are down to 14. There are 7 minutes left. France 45, England 39. Really quickly, if you can, Paul Gilmore at West Ham.
What a chance for Man City. Mark Gahey has blasted over when it dropped to him inside the 6-yard box. Still 1-1.
Brilliant stuff, Paul. Remember, Arsenal went 10 points clear by beating Everton 2-0. Max Downman making history, the youngest Premier League goal scorer ever at 16. But with it being 1-1, Arsenal have a 9-point lead at the top of the league. England to within 5. 6 minutes to go. France 45, England 39. England will have a man advantage for the rest of the game. and England winning its Ireland's title, and France winning its France's title. Thrown into the line-out. Ollie Chesham's been immense today. 2 tries, a load of line-out ball, a load of big plays. Heave is the cry from the French crowd. They like the way the French forwards repelled that initial England burst. Now England have some momentum with this maul. They're edging closer to the line. They've broken away. They're to within 3 or 4 metres, are they now? England. It's a tackle, says the ref, so it will be England possession. Van Poortvliet digs for the ball. Pollock wants it. Will the forwards keep it tight? There are 5.5 minutes to go, and Toje peels around the corner. Hands away, says the ref. There for Van Poortvliet. England trail by 6. 7 puts them in the lead. Jack Van Poortvliet for the line. Hauled down, inches short. Genge is there. Cowan-Dickie is there. Listen to Paris as England drive on, looking to end their championship in the best way possible. 5 to go in Paris. France 45, England 39. Henry Pollock picks and Henry Pollock drives. They couldn't be much closer here, England. With 5 to go of this incredible game of rugby, part of an incredible Six Nations. Cowan-Dickie's up to the line, he's on his back, he's held up. Goal line drop out to the French, and the France flags fly around the stade. 5 to hold out, and France will win the Six Nations. France 45, England 39, full time at West Ham. Paul.
1-1 on the day. Arsenal dug out a late win. Pep Guardiola's side dropped points. Bernardo Silva chipped Hermansen for the opener on 32, but 3 minutes later Konstantinos Mavropanos, a former Arsenal player, headed in from a corner. City now 9 points behind the leaders with the game in hand. West Ham 1, Man City 1.
Lovely stuff, Paul. You've not missed anything because 3 France forwards are getting treatment. They wait to the well there, the French, and England just forced it a bit, didn't they? Luke Cowan-Dickie got, what would you call it, sort of turtled on his back, held up, goal line drop out. England will get another chance though, with 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go, as the French crowd go mad all around us as they know they are 4 minutes and 45 seconds away from a second successive Six Nations title.
Oh, this place is bouncing. Literally bouncing, everyone bouncing, jumping up and down, trying to get behind their French team. That was heroic defence from the French. Incredible discipline and power, inches for England to get over the line. Oh, goodness me, I still feel that England have got a chance. I still feel they're going to get an opportunity, Grace.
Yeah, and the picture's very clear, isn't it? They're a man up. Intensity around the breakdown and the collisions. They've won enough to get on the front foot, and they've got Smith on at fullback with that extra bit of creativity.
Well, listen to the noise. Martiaz rings around the Stade de France. We're going to go to Kenny at full time at Kilmarnock, but England through Van Poortvliet field the goal line, and Chandler Cunningham Sam. That's kind of a rugby league run back, isn't it? Shades of Sam Burgess there as Cunningham South just smashed into the French defence. 10-metre line, England, out the back they go. They've got a man advantage, remember. Marcus Smith, over it goes to Murley. Harlequin to Harlequin, just short of the 22. England trailing by 6 with 4 to go. There goes Bevan Roddy's on at loose head, up to the 22. Van Poortvliet down the right, England are into the 22. Pollock down the right touchline. Van Poortvliet, Maro Itoje's been immense today. He drives on, tackled by Olivon. Van Poortvliet, 22, centre field. Luke Cowan-Dickie on the sponsors logo. They're only 15 out here, England. They come round the corner. Rod gets it to Finn Smith. He's to within 6 or 7. Good quick ball. Van Poortvliet. Cunningham South running hard and straight. To within 5. Jack Van Poortvliet to the right. Trevor Davidson, the Northampton man, is on at tight head for the excellent Hayes. Penalty advantage. England get a penalty. Sam Underhill to within 3. They've just got to keep their cool. They've got a man advantage. They are in. Tommy Freeman's under the post. A famous England try that might have capped a famous England win. Oh, there's life left in this England team for sure. What a try! Freeman's in the corner, football style. Him and Pollock going over to the body of England fans down in that corner. The kick's a formality. England are going 1 clear with just 3 minutes to go in Paris.
The Northampton players going berserk in the corner. Henry Pollock jumping all over Tommy Freeman. Finn Smith ran back from the halfway line to tell him to pack it in, get back in your own half. More defending to do here to see this test match out. Great maturity from England's 10.
France 45, England 44. The kick from Smith to come. He's got to keep his eye on the clock. He can't get counted out. It's Ireland's title at the moment with 2.5 minutes to go. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Smith can't miss this one. He won't miss this one. England lead in the Stade de France. France 45, England 46. And Matt Dawson and Paul Grayson both shake their heads.
Well, what do we say? What do we all say at the beginning of this game, pre-game? England have got to be in it. They've got to be in it at the death. They have played a magnificent game so far. This is going to be a crazy 2 minutes right now.
They've got to win the kickoff. They do. Ollie Chesson's been a man possessed today. 2 minutes to go. England with a man advantage and a point advantage. Van Poortvliet's kick. Underneath it is Ramos. France will have to go from 45, 50 metres. Jalabert is through, eating up the grass. He gets it away. Pollock, match saving tackle maybe, but France have it on the 22. A try gives France the title and breaks Irish hearts over in Dublin. Jalabert jinking, just short of the 22 France. Dupont's there belatedly, so Gross plays at scrum half. Listen to the noise around the Stade de France. Just over a minute to go as France go up to the 22. Any France score, will they think drop goal, Matt Dawson? A drop goal for the Six Nations title. If they can work the field position, they're 22 metres out. Any England laps and France with the penalty, and France with a chance for the title. But if England can get a turnover, England winning its Ireland's championship. It's been ripped. Pollock's got it. Henry Pollock. Oh, he tried to throw a pass, and then Murley went to hack it, and it's been knocked on by England. Oh, 50 seconds to go. If Pollock had got it away to Murley, Pollock had kicked it himself. England now tackling Dupont, who's offloaded. When will the referee call advantage over? They're on their halfway line here, France. Lovely offload to Theo Atasogbe. This is extraordinary stuff at the end of an extraordinary Six Nations championship, which at the moment is going to be won by Ireland. If England can hold on, they're looking for a turnover. Advantage is over for the knock, so France have to go from 50. They drive through Josh Brennan, halfway line, Dupont, tired bodies. They put on a show for us tonight with 15 seconds to go. France 45, England 46. Jean-Baptiste Gros just trundles around the edge of the ruck. France have to go 50. Have they got it in them? They're a man down, remember, as well. It's slow ball. And this is where England's discipline, which has been an issue this tournament, has to be squeaky clean. It's a high tackle. And Thomas Ramos and France will have a chance for the title. With seconds to go, France have got the penalty. High tackle by England, and that could be that. Ramos will have the kick. Will they just take it? Knocked on there by Itoje. Here it is. Penalty France. It's going to be 47 metres out or so. There was also a deliberate knock-on and a high tackle. So France will have their choice. And right at the end, England give the penalty away. And
it's one penalty there.
France will have the chance to kick the goal, to win the game, and to win the Six Nations title.
Yeah, France have got a choice here. They want to find out exactly where both penalty positions are for Ramos. I think he'll fancy the one slightly to the left of the post. Maro Itoje just trying to cut the game.
Okay, penalties, give it.
Cut the game out by knocking the ball on. But I mean, both sides off their feet, Grace. I mean, they've put more than heart and soul into this. They've given every single ounce of effort into this fixture, and it's come down to one kick.
Unbelievable, and one kick that the referee can't make his mind up where the penalty is given.
There were two penalties, yeah.
It looked like he'd given one straight in front of the posts.
Well, they're arguing about it. Cross, Itoje, and then Mikel Guillard's in there. They're pushing and shoving. Oh, Maro Itoje has been magnificent tonight. But then there was a penalty advantage for a high tackle. Then Itoje knocked on deliberately. This kick is not a gimme. Got to make that clear. It is, what we're thinking, Matt Dawson, over 40 out and on an angle. The trouble is, Thomas Ramos is one of the best in the world.
Quite rightly. The referee just keeps saying one penalty here and one penalty over there, like just pointing at a general direction. Antoine Dupont's like, okay, but where? Where is there? And I can give you a call. But this is a monster kick. End of the game. Ramos. Come on, Grace.
42, 17 in from the left-hand touchline.
How fitting that the greatest Six Nations championship of all comes down to a moment. What drama in the Stade de France. Ramos for the game, Ramos for the title. It's straight, it's true, and listen to Paris. Thomas Ramos is mobbed by his teammates. He kept his cool as he so often does. The kick perfect. And France win one of the greatest fixtures in Six Nations history. In the best Six Nations of all time. England couldn't have given any more. But right at the end, their discipline just creaked. And Ramos, from 40-45 on the angle, never looked like missing. France are the Six Nations champions. England so close to pulling off a brilliant win. Ireland so close to being the champions. But it's 1 win out of 5 for England. But how hard they pushed France, how well they played. Thomas Ramos, though, the hero. Incredible scenes in the Stade de France. France 48, England 46. France go back to back.
Incredible, what a spectacle. England showed up, took France down to the wire. Ultimately the points difference. I think England missed 3, Ramos missed none. And then that last kick, absolute dagger in the heart for England. And Ireland too, but what a test match, what a tournament. I don't know if this is the theme going forward, mid-40s. Quite like it because there was no shortage of physicality, of drive, of scrum, of maul, of everything that keeps this beautiful game rolling on. But end-to-end stuff. And I'm not saying it's Matt Dawson's fault, but he just said England just need to keep their discipline. And the one thing that has let them down throughout the tournament is giving penalties away. They gave one last one, opened the door for Ramos.
I feel for those England lads. When you dig as deep as that team have had to go tonight, words will not be able to console their feelings, their emotions, their disbelief to lose a game like that. But the reality is that that's how England should be playing. England keep playing like that. In the next 18 months, they're going to challenge the big boys. They are going to challenge in other tournaments. They're going to challenge in the World Cup. They should be extremely proud of themselves, and particularly will point at the players on the pitch who you could see that is how they want to play. That is the way that England squad need to. That's like the base level. That's now the foundation going forward, because if you're going to consistently compete against France, South Africa, New Zealand, Ireland, Scotland, etc., you got to play with that endeavour and that skill set. Maybe just ever so slightly tweak the discipline.
Well, they came away with the ball, didn't they, when Pollock somehow had it?
Oh, what a moment.
I mean, there were so many moments, and you can pour over them, as England no doubt will. It's a 1 out of 5 championship, but they were a transformed team tonight. France, though, just about getting the job done. A penny for Irish thoughts. They would have been so close, the Irish players, to capping off that brilliant win today against Scotland with a title that weeks and weeks ago here in Paris, when they were well beaten, looked so improbable. But it's been the most improbable tournament, Sonia, and perhaps the best game of all to end it. And what a match. France are the champions, but that barely tells any of the story. France 48, England 46.
Wow. Wow. That was probably one of the greatest Six Nations matches we've ever seen. Should we just call it now and call it the greatest Six Nations championship we've ever witnessed? Congratulations to France, commiserations to Ireland. We will get through the meat of it in a moment, but let's get full time at Kilmarnock. Kenny Crawford.
Full-time score, Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0. The league leaders created little and came away with nothing. That's 3 defeats in their last 3 away games for Hearts, who are now just 2 points ahead of Celtic with 8 games to go. Seaning Larson with Kelly's winner on 17 minutes. The hosts were excellent, but they're now level in points with 10th placed St Mirren. Full-time score, Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0.
Thank you very much, Kenny. As the French players celebrate on the pitch at the Stade de France, we will talk France in a second, but just, Matt Dawson, where's that England been?
Well, I think we've all spoken about it. It's been a mindset issue for England. The balance between what the coaches have set them up to do and maybe have asked them to do in certain scenarios, and England, the players have maybe not motivated. No, I don't mean that. The players have maybe not decided to challenge what's in front of them. They've gone through the motions time after time after time in what they've done in training. Whereas tonight, you could see from the off, they were playing the game in front of them, and it still involved plenty of territory. It involved lots of kicking, but it was at the right time. It was accurate, and it was balanced with attack and flair and guile. So France were left guessing at times as to what England were going to do. So there's plenty of positive. England are not going to see that at the moment, and we can't expect them to. But for Steve Borthwick and his coaching side, this is a stark reminder. This isn't about how the fans want England to play. This is how the players want to play. You're going to get the best performance out of England, and that, never mind 23, the 36-man squad, because they'll watch this back and think, what an unbelievable evening, an amazing way to play a game of rugby. And by the way, a game that, dare I say, should have won. They're one knock-on from Henry Pollock away from winning that game in the last second. That's the reality.
Yeah, it's been that kind of Six Nations. Paul Grayson, just how good... you've played in a lot of big games. You've watched a lot of big games with Five Live Sport. How good was that?
Oh, it was sensational because England started brightly and then France scored easily, and the miracle that is BL Barret bagged another couple, and you thought, that's just a bit of a pattern. England are too easy to score against and can't quite get it going in attack, but they didn't let up. They also just touched on most of the points of what makes a good team able to play. Both teams happy to move the ball around. It was never stale. Even when they're in kicking battles, everything was done quick, so the game remains entertaining. But England were quick, they were physical, they were decisive. They didn't ponder, they got on with it, and they hit France hard. They hit some soft edges. They'd obviously got some decent ideas about where they were going to find a little bit of joy. Elliot Daly, in that opening piece, Elliot Daly thought about kicking it, didn't kick it, gave it to Tommy Freeman. When the ball got to him the next time, he dribbled it in behind England, ended up scoring from it. Mixed that in with a dominant maul, a 20-metre maul down this right-hand side that led to a penalty, that led to another maul, that led to a try. So it wasn't all ball in hand, it wasn't all ball in the air, it was grunt and it was graft, but it was done quick, efficiently, and in an exciting manner to give yourself a chance of winning what would have been an extraordinary win. The one bit for me that going forward England have to address, everything was set up, massive underdogs away from home, being dreadful, everyone's on their back, it's all against them. That is the position, the easiest position to find a performance from. How can you play like that when you're the favourites?
That's the thing, isn't it? We said pre-match that this England team has a knack of reacting when their backs are firmly against the wall. But for their backs to be so against the wall, they have to have played badly and lost games to then be in that position. So there's that, the consistency, and also in that final those final seconds, just that decision making, which the best teams are able to see games out. Matt Dawson just pointed out, Sonia, Henry Pollock, who looked crestfallen, and Captain Maro Itoje, who led from the front tonight, putting his arm around the youngster. So England really need to learn from this. It's a 1 out of 5 campaign, which is a desperate return for an England team who've never done that in Six Nations history. So it's their worst ever, but tonight was so remarkable and such a transformed England team. It's quite hard to know what to make of it. The bigger picture is 1 out of 5, but on tonight's evidence, they're a one play away from pulling off one of the great wins.
Yeah, and they've outscored France by 7 tries to 6. I mean, it is quite bonkers. Matt, you called it towards the end of the game. Discipline. They've got to keep their discipline when they're leading, by a point. Clive Woodward always used to talk, didn't he, about teacup, thinking clearly under pressure. It's easier said than done. How difficult is it in those moments just to keep clear heads?
It is extremely difficult, and it will be a lesson that I would like to think that they will, they will keep close. Certainly not in the back of their mind, somewhere in the middle, because England will put themselves in those types of positions again, and the game will be on the line with seconds to go. And whether it would involve simple things like just the communication on the pitch. After the scrum with 2, or when Finn Smith's running to get the other Northampton players, the 2 of them who are celebrating, not thinking about the next job, which is the kick-off and the defence. Actually, who in that group is saying discipline, discipline, discipline? France are going to be going around the fringes looking for the penalty. Give them the ball. They can hang around on the halfway line all day long. Just give them the ball, defend, get on your feet, no risk rugby. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Now, they probably weren't saying that, but it's the lesson that they will take away and learn from. But it's got to happen. It has to happen immediately. I think I remember rightly, 2 years ago,
same story,
exactly the same thing. Ben Earl gives the penalty away with.
Yeah.
It is a theme. It has to be spoken about, and it has to be dealt with. A little bit later on down the line.
The irony of that is that for a France team, Sonia, that looked so dangerous, the ball in hand, they actually weren't going anywhere in that final play. They were out on their feet. They had no shape, did they? And so England just had to, whatever you used to call it, go to the beach or something, where you just a squeaky clean
hit the beach.
A word about Ramos. I think it's some shades of Mornay Stain for South Africa. We just knew he was going to get it, which is testament to his cool.
Well, he didn't miss a kick all night, did he?
He didn't miss a kick all night, and he was never going to miss that one, was he?
No, he didn't. I get the distinct impression that performance from England has probably bought Steve Borthwick some time as England coach into the 3 matches this summer. Let's hear from him now.
Well, Steve, what an incredible match. Firstly, your thoughts on the performance overall?
Well, I think firstly you should congratulate France. They're a tremendous team and done so well, and it was an excellent game, and they had formidable opponents, and they kept out. So huge congratulations to France, Fabien, and all their team.
But to lose in the manner, shades of 2 years ago, it must be bitterly disappointing.
Yeah, well, last year we won on the very late in the game. It's the nature of the games of England versus France. 2 very good sides to go head to head, and outstanding game of rugby and a brilliant atmosphere here.
If we get into it, it is a 4th loss. It's the first time England have lost 4 in the Six Nations. Everybody at home will be wondering why it took the 3 losses, a night like this, backs against the wall, for England to attack the way they did tonight.
Well, I think there's a bit of time to get it from a training perspective, a bit of time to get it from ensuring all those relationships within the team. We work those aspects together. I think the team, I thought, we're bitterly disappointed with the last few weeks. We wanted to get a great result for our supporters tonight. We're disappointed we didn't get the result for them. I hope they can be proud of the way their team played.
Discipline again, a bit of an Achilles heel. The yellow card, rightly or wrongly, cost you 21 points.
I think the yellow cards in this tournament have hurt us. I think if you look at that yellow card, the nature of it, I think that is a very debatable yellow card, as was Henry Arundel's right at the start of the Scotland game, which World Rugby, except it shouldn't have been a yellow card. Unfortunately, when a little bit of luck's gone against us on those couple of decisions, but we've got to be a lot better than that.
And as you know, with your role, results always count, and there'll be questions about where this group was going. There might be questions after this game about where the team is heading towards the summer. What would you say to anyone that doubts that you are still the right man to lead this team forward?
I'm very clear on the direction of the team, very clear on what we're going to do. We're disappointed with we wanted to achieve much more in this championship than what we have done, clearly. Disappointed for our supporters, that we wanted to give them plenty of things to celebrate. We've been unable to do that. We'll make sure that we do that going forward.
Steve, commiserations again. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
That's England coach Steve Borthwick. Of course, Chris, there's been a few coaches under pressure in this tournament. You know, Gregor Townsend was under pressure after Scotland lost to Italy. Steve Borthwick's been under pressure in recent weeks. I mean, I know France have won the title. Where does this leave Fabien Galtier in a way?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Because they've lost the Grand Slam, won the title, but France have shipped 96 points in the last 2 games.
Incredible. And yeah, the narratives and the coaches that have gone from under pressure to top of the world in the case of Gregor Townsend after weekend 4, and then a bit of a reality check for Scotland today. Andy Farrell he's so adored in Dublin. I don't think he's ever been under pressure properly, but he would have been feeling the pinch after the game here at the start of the tournament, which feels a lifetime ago. And he was a play away from being Six Nations champion for the 3rd year in 4, Sonia, if Ireland and Farrell had won the title, if England had just about hung on. And then Galtier, this French group is so talented with so much depth, and French rugby is so buoyant, that actually, if they had ended up losing a slam and then losing the title, there would have been major questions about Galtier. But Thomas Ramos' kick has changed that narrative. He's a back-to-back champion. He's won 3 of the last 5. So it's been in keeping with the roller coaster nature of this tournament, how the fortunes of the head coaches have twisted and turned this way and that, and ultimately Galtier is the Six Nations champion yet again. But at times he would have felt that France were going to miss out because they were so close to being beaten by England tonight.
Matt Dawson, when was the last time a winger scored 4 tries against England?
Oh, God, blimey. Got to give him Mike.
Probably the most famous player in the world there's ever been.
Oh, Jonah?
Yeah, was it Jonah Lomu? I'm guessing, but possibly.
Right.
So I mean, give us your appreciation of Luis Biel Barry. I mean, yes, we know he's got speed, but what's his X factor, do you think?
I mean, I think the way that he reads the game, he's got all the sort of the skill set, the deft touch with his right boot to score his try on the hoop, going flat out. So he's got the hands, he's got the feet, he's got the speed, he can defend, but he reads the game superbly well. You know, that all these top try scorers, they're not just running them in, they get themselves into positions to make it look like it's really easy, and they're just running the ball. They read the game superbly well, and you know, he doesn't find himself on the floor very often. He doesn't find himself having to make massive hits because he puts himself in really good positions. He's just a very clever player, a little bit like Antoine Dupont, to be honest. They understand the nuances of the game, and they don't need to be very obvious in what they're doing. They just sort of pop up and score. A little bit like our friend Chrissy Ashton, to be honest. In his day, he would just, you know, glide around the field, and all of a sudden the ball's popping up into his hands, and everyone's commenting on tonight him scoring 4 tries, but you've got to be there, haven't you? You've got to be in the right place to score them.
And Paul Grayson, as a man who's kicked many points for club and country, just Thomas Ramos, just how much courage does it take to step up? I mean, we know he's a phenomenal kicker. He didn't miss one all night, but to take a kick under such enormous pressure.
Well, that's in those circumstances with almost a fight breaking out, the referee wandering around saying, you've got 2 penalties, one might be over here, the other one's somewhere over there, and Dupont's into the ref saying, where exactly is it? In all of that, Ramos just needs a little bit of certainty to get into his process, which is sensational. And to be honest with you, distance never an issue from where he was. It's just the magnitude of the situation. You've got one shot, clock is dead, everyone's watching you to win the Six Nations. I'm glad for him that he delivered, because he's a hell of a player.
Yeah, he is. The stage has been built for the trophy presentation. The lights are out, the crowd have not gone anywhere, as you would imagine. France about to be crowned Six Nations champions for the second year in a row. Chris.
Yeah, you took the words right, Mamal Sodj. Not a soul has left this stadium. It is some sight. It's almost 11:30 local time on a lovely mild Parisian evening, and the stadium has gone dark apart from some lights, blue, white and red, the colours of the tricolour, and then the darkness for the whole of the pitch apart from a slither around the halfway where the stage is up, and the French players wearing those light blue commemorative jerseys to mark 120 years of this great rugby rivalry. The players are getting ready to celebrate. Celebrations that for a lot of that game, the France fans in here were worried wouldn't come. The celebrations could have been in Dublin, where I'm sure the Ireland players and Ireland fans felt when Tommy Freeman went in that it was going to be their title. But France at the death, the last kick of the game, their last kick of this wonderful Six Nations Championship. Ramos from 40 plus straight through, and France have done it again. All the players are up on the stage. The last man is the great Antoine Dupont, the skipper, who for the second year in a row has his hands on the Six Nations trophy. And they say Antoine, and the crowd say Dupont, and he lifts the trophy into the air, and the fireworks and the lights go off around these French players. They're back-to-back Six Nations champions. They've won it for the third time in 5 years. It's a little golden era of French rugby. So much talent, so much class. They were almost beaten by an inspired England tonight, but they got the job done just about in one of the most remarkable games in Six Nations history that capped off a simply wonderful championship. And now the kind of unofficial anthem of French rugby. Do you remember being in the Stade 4 years ago for the Grand Slam, Matt Dawson? And this was going off. It's going to be some night in Paris, Paul Grayson.
Yes, it is. And they've deserved it. He said that game on a knife edge. France found a way. England had it in their grasp. And then that trophy would have been back on some form of transport over to Ireland. But I think in the end, the right result for the tournament. France had that slip up against Scotland, almost did it again tonight. But what a finish.
French players still celebrating, Sonia, as are the tens and tens of thousands of French rugby fans. How they love their rugby, how this place has been transformed the last 6 years. Remember coming here a decade ago when England won the Grand Slam and were much the better team, and there wasn't much stirring in French rugby. Now look at it, they've won another title, and really they could have had more. You know, they might rue that Scottish blitz that cost them a slam, but maybe given they got away with one tonight, that'd be a little bit greedy. France, the champions of the Six Nations 2026.
As the pyrotechnics leap into the night sky in Paris and France start the party. Matt Dawson, worthy champions ultimately?
Yes, I think so. Congratulations for sure go to France. I think over the tournament, they definitely deserve to be champions. They've shown plenty of character. I think it's easy to look at this French side after the first couple of games and think, oh, they're just going to, run riot through everybody, and that's the expectation. But of course, when you are the team to beat, you get a lot of focus. And as Paul Grayson mentioned, what he wants to see from England, he wants to see England performing not as an underdog, but as a favourite, and that's what you saw France do tonight. They went to the well, they were under pressure, they're behind with minutes to go, they're on their knees, and with a bit of ill discipline one of their superstar players steps up and kicks a brilliant goal to win the game. You know, these are those precious little moments that special teams have special teams need in order to win the big game. So they are well worthy champions of this year's tournament. But goodness me, not only have we had such a fantastic tournament, but isn't it so good for all of the teams? You know, there's such positivity about all of the teams. You think round one, where Wales were in the tournament, it was the end of Welsh rugby for the next decade.
Now look at them.
Well, exactly, and you
Getting
look
a
at
first win in 16 games.
Italy progressing week by week, getting their first win against England ever, you know, and Scotland beating France. Ireland, you forget, it's only, you know, that performance against France in the opening game, and then against Italy, Ireland were written off. Ireland, it's the end of their era. And then all of a sudden they're bouncing back. They played brilliant today against Scotland, and then England finish off with their worst result ever, and yet weirdly one of their greatest performances ever. I mean, it's just been an outstanding few weeks, but quite hard to get a head around, to be perfectly honest.
Thank you very much. You're going to have fun now, Paul Grayson, Matt Dawson, little drink in the night, Paris.
Well, we've got an early start tomorrow, Sonia, so I'll probably just turn it in.
Okay. Thank you very much to Paul Grayson. I don't believe you for 1 second, by the way. Thanks to Paul Grayson and Matt Dawson. And before that, of course, commentator Chris Jones, who's gone off to get reaction from both teams. And, of course, there'll be a Rugby Union Weekly will be out tomorrow with all the reaction from Paris.